Can you hear me?
Hello? Want to get high? Don't forget to bring a towel.
It freaks me out that my head has that little thing right there. It's like I feel like a robot. Like you can see through my robot. And it's funny because this is the side of my brain where I had brain surgery, but it's appearing on that side, so it looks like it's that side, but it's not really that side. It's this side. But it looks like that side, but it's this side. But it looks like that's where my metal would be in my head. Kind of funny. I sent out some links. Maybe no, I see a couple of people in here. Maybe nobody's here. Maybe I'm all alone in this world. Talk to myself because there is no one to talk to. And then people ask me why I do what I do. Uh, whoever's watching, I'm sending out links. So if you want to join, please let me know. Hey, Robin. Anybody want to join us? Let me know. I'll send out links on Twitter via Twitter. I send them in Twitter message if you need to know. No pressure. You don't have to appear on camera. You can just talk if you want. We can talk about whatever. That's what these things are. They're just whatevers. No pressure. Right? That's what I feel like. I feel like a cyborg. But there's metal in my head on this side, but that's kind of funny. That's about right where it would be on the other side. So that's why it feels like that. All right, give me a second. I have to go to here to do this. Oh, God, I hate this thing. Let's see. Robin, you got an invite sent. Out of mine, you got an invite sent to you. Listen, I don't mind being the only guy in that threesome, baby. Yeah. Now you get goofy late night jiggy too. Come on, we can have an entanglement. I'm asking, am I the only person that gets allergies year round? Like I know people might think I have they call it the Jovid. My friends say it's the Jovid, Jiggy Joe, so Jovid. But like when I cough and sneeze, everywhere you go, people think something's up. But yeah, no. You're not set up. Set up. It ain't hard. Come on, do it. What do you got? What are you doing right now? Be a part of this. I could use another voice. I could use some other folks to talk to. It's much more fun. That's why I think last night went by so quick. I literally did not believe I did a 6-hour stream my very first time out the gate. But it was a good 6 hours. Oh, your son-in-law sets it up? Gotcha. I can't wait to get the other camera set up. I don't like this thing right in my front face. The only benefit is that I get to see the chat. But there is no topic of discussion. These are just we jump on. Sometimes people come and join me, and we just talk about whatever we want to talk about. Ask questions. You can ask me anything. Talk about things. That's just kind of what the purpose is. Just a little bit of fun. I invite people to come on and join and talk if they want, as long as they're reasonable. I'm no crazy people. All right, yeah, because I don't. It doesn't matter what time of year it is. My allergies are insane, and I don't ever. If you rarely will ever hear me sneeze once. When I sneeze, it's always a whole bunch of fucking sneezes. Well, from Xmas tree, well, you better get a fake tree next time. Stop trying to kill that man. Trying to end his Christmas before it even started. Now, is your name Macabri or Macabri? Either way, if you had any questions, just something you want to discuss, please put it out there. Let's Let's get Robin up in here. Let me get my headphones on. Give me 1 second, please, Robin. Can you hear me, Robin?
Okay, I had my microphone muted. Hi, Jiggy. I can hear you. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can. Absolutely. Welcome.
Well, thank you. It's great to be here.
This is fun. I did yesterday. Was the very first time I did a crazy stream, and these people had me on for 6 hours.
Man, that takes a while to recover from, right?
No, not at all. It was fun. It was kind of, I don't know, not necessarily. I guess it's kind of needed, sometimes to be able to have these conversations and these random whatever, just throw it all out there and just speak. It's actually very healing, very fun.
Well, this is the first time I've ever seen you as not part of a duo.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to do this. A lot of people, they hit me offline and they just say they kind of, excuse me, want to know a little bit more about me personally. And I feel like on Thursdays when we're speaking, it's us talking to everybody, but not really getting a chance to interact as much because it's hard to follow the chat that way. So I feel like this is just more of a way just to get to know each other. Me get to know you guys, and you guys get to know me, and throw it all out there.
I think that's a good idea. Well, let me interview you then.
Okay, you can interview me. Just don't ask the tough questions, okay?
Well, you can signal me if it's a tough question. Give me a high sign, and then I'll know to shut the fuck up.
All right, if you hear me say pineapples, okay, that's the safe word. Pineapples.
Got it. Safe word. The safe word is pineapple, everybody. Please, if I miss it, give me a nudge. Okay, Jiggy, how long have you been showing out on YouTube?
Showing out on YouTube? Oh, hasn't actually been that long.
Yeah.
How we started was most radio show. Well, no, that's not true. We started as investigators. I started as an investigator before all this and kind of put the team together. But
an investigator of what?
The paranormal. I am a paranormal investigator. It means that I investigate anything paranormal, ghosts, aliens, UFOs, Bigfoot. I'm into cryptozoology, ufology, anything that you could think of. That which now for me has learned to circumference everything, because I've come to find that everything is paranormal. None of this shit is normal as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, what is normal?
Exactly. There is no normal.
Yeah. So, wow. Okay. So all things paranormal. I think that's really fascinating. So coming out. Okay. At this point in your investigations and stuff, and I know you've branched out, but what's your general consensus about the claims and the experts and the people who write books about that stuff? So what's your take on all of that?
I think that the average person, most people have had some kind of experience. Something has happened to them in life which brings them to want to find answers. Now, in seeking those answers, and all the time I've spent all these years dealing with people, meeting people, going to conferences, traveling and everything, is the one thing that I'll say is that there's no professionals in this. I don't know what is supposed to qualify somebody as a professional investigator or professional anything in this field. I think we're all the same. We're all a bunch of people trying to find answers to something that it may be impossible to ever find answers to. So it's the claims that people make that they put these labels on themselves and they have certificates that they give themselves and they're educated by themselves and everything is just kind of how this goes. So It's a matter of weeding through all that, trying to actually. There are people out there with genuine stories. I mean, to me and the stuff that's happened to me, these are genuine stories of things that have happened to me, and I'm sure you have yours, and most of the people you encounter will have those. But it's trying to get past the walls that people put up, because some people put up purposeful walls where it's hard to talk about. Some people aren't very comfortable talking about the paranormal, where others are putting up walls of, but bullshit. They're just putting up these walls to make themselves seem mysterious or make their claims seem so much more credible. It's like they go out of their way to purposely be something that they're just not. They create themselves as these magical creatures and, all the things that we growing up, read in sci-fi books and saw on television and movies and stuff. It's what I've just been basically these people paint themselves out to be heroes. They think themselves.
Yeah, and they do want to feel special. Yeah, apparently, I think all those sorts of folks just don't feel special enough. in their own life, so they have to get it externally like that. Oh, I have a secret that nobody else does. There are a lot of folks like that. Boy, filtering through all that.
It's hard. It's a lot. You're talking about information on top of information, and now especially where you have the internet. The internet is so prevalent in everyone's lives, and people are utilizing it. It's just you're hearing everything, and that's where it used to be. Most of the people who came out with these claims were considered to be crazy and stuff like that anyway. So most people wouldn't talk about this stuff. Where now it's the new crazy is crazy. Like just and I'm not belittling. I hate that term crazy, but you definitely understand what I'm saying. Is that's what it is. The new crazy is actually crazy. Like people will embrace the crazy, which is fine. But in embracing it, look where we've gotten. A perfect example is what happened in DC. The crazy is just like they opened up the crazy bin and let everybody out, and all the crazies are running around now. And it's insane trying to keep this all together.
Yeah, I know. Boy, so no wonder you've branched out. You can only beat that horse, for so long. So good. Good. So, gosh. Oh, this is so cool. Man, I feel like I have total control over this. What else do I want to know about you? Gosh, everything. Are you a family person?
Well, I mean, do I have? Well, I'm not married. I don't have any children. I have a grandbaby by default, but yeah, I don't. It's kind of just me. But I have family around, but not immediate family. Like I'm married to anyone or anything like that. No.
Ah, okay. Well, I wasn't. I wasn't.
No, it's okay. No, that's okay. I mean, I've put it out there. But I've spent the last almost 30 years or 30 years plus actually in private security, bodyguard, traveling, shows, everything you could think of. So,
okay, I sort of wanted to ask you what you did, but I didn't know if you would go there. But you did not say the safe word. So yeah. Okay, so you work in like security and stuff. Are you? How tall are you? Are you a big guy?
Yeah, I'm 6'4". I'm not. I was much bigger. Yeah, I at my biggest I was 415 pounds. I'm currently.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I was a really, really big guy. I'm definitely not as big as I used to be. So
how did you get smaller?
I had surgery. Yeah, you probably don't know the story. It took a while. I had disappeared for a while. I wasn't able to do the show for a few months. I'd
love to hear it. Was it a sleeve or bypass or what?
Oh, no. So no, this wasn't anything. This was an elective surgery whatsoever. Oh. So back in 2019, I was at a conference in Disclosure Con in Pine Top, Arizona, actually with Lee Veltman, who's in the room, and Natasha Nix.
Oh yeah, Lee and Natasha.
Yep. So while I was there, I thought I developed altitude sickness, which was definitely not the case. And I came back to where I'm from, Boston. I came back to Boston, and for like a week, I was having like severely bad cramping and just intense pain in my stomach. And I just thought it was altitude sickness. And I got to a point where I couldn't breathe. So my friend took me to the emergency room, and I woke up probably about 2 or 3 days later and found out that my colon had pierced my bowels. It got inflamed and pierced my bowels. So my body was actually septic. So I ended up with a colostomy bag, excuse me, for 8 months, and I've had the reverse. I don't have the colostomy bag anymore. But yeah, I was in really bad shape for a while.
You could have died.
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely.
Because that's a septic.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh dear. And you're here to talk about it. Bless you. Yeah. Okay. Then you got to keep on keeping on, because here you are with the second chance, I would say. Do you ever feel like that?
This would actually be like my 5th or 6th chance. Like I'm a cat.
You're gonna turn into a cat.
Yeah. I have 9 lives, people say, because that's the most recent thing. I've survived a burst aneurysm where I died and had the craniotomy, brain surgery and stuff. I've been shot. All kinds of things have happened to me. All at work, though. I'm not a bad guy. Like anything bad that's happened to me has all happened at work.
Wow.
That's what fuels me. Just so you know, Robin, that's really what fuels me, is that my personal experiences and the things that have happened to me, I can't explain. I just can't. And that's what I've been trying to find some answers to that stuff as well.
But at the same time, in your seeking, you also seem like a very centered man. Right now, just in talking to you and what I've seen of you, Yeah, on your show, it seems like you have a centeredness that it takes people a while to achieve, to attain.
I don't see when you say centered. I don't know. It's to me, it sounds like a very magical word in this world that we live in.
Mhm.
I just,
Oh, no kidding.
people take that and then it's like, oh, you're centered, so you're spiritual, you're a light being,
Oh.
all this type of stuff.
Oh, fuck that. I never go there. I gotta tell you, I never go there, but I don't know what else to call it.
But I get what you're saying. Though. I mean, it's a word that makes sense, but it's hard. I don't apply that to myself because when I think centered, I think of someone who literally is in the middle of all of it and kind of has it figured out.
Oh,
I
okay.
damn sure don't have any of this figured out. I don't. I don't claim to. What I've done, I've come to terms with things. I've come to peace with things. I've come to peace in terms of my humanity. I know that I'm not Superman. I know
There you
that,
have it.
I know what life can take. I know what life can give. I'll be 51 in a couple weeks, and in my 51 years on this planet, I've learned a lot. I'm not saying I've learned more than anybody else. I've just learned the lessons that I've had to learn, and within those lessons, they've just, like I said, they've gotten me a sense of peace where I'm not scared of death. I'm not scared of life either, because that's just as important. People skip that fact. Everyone's, I'm not scared of death, but are you scared of life? Are you scared of living?
Yes.
And that's one of the questions that very few people actually ask themselves. And that's what it is. I'm not scared of either. I'm scared. I love to live, and I'm not scared of death. I know it's going to come for me at some time. So whenever it gets here, I don't know if I'll even be aware of it. It's been here before. It came, knocked on my door, and that's what woke me up. That's what put me on the other side of things. So I try to, it's not that I'm centered. I just see things the way I see them. I know what I've experienced. I don't come from a place of someone who tries to tell you I'm not a doctor. I'm not a scientist. I'm not any of those things. I'm just a human being who has experienced human things, and I'm trying to figure them out. And all I can do is share what I've experienced and see if people have had similar experiences and if we can try to figure it out together.
Yeah, and you've learned more about who you are too, I think.
It's actually the opposite. I don't know anything about myself. I thought I did. I think I do all the time. And then I just get hit with something that it makes me even question what I am, who I am.
Oh, like where'd that come from? Oh, okay.
Well, I was saying this last night is that even before like my last surgery, like when mostly the brain surgeries, that I've never felt like this may sound odd. It's hard to explain to people without it sounding like it's some crazy woo thing. But I've never felt like I've had 2 feet back in this reality, if that makes sense. Like I've never felt like 100% of me has come back. Like some of me, I still sometimes think I'm dead. Like I still think this is a dream, or I'm dead, or I'm still in a coma or something. Back in 2006 when my brain exploded. So there's a whole lot of things that I wonder about. So I have more questions even about myself than answers. I really do.
That's fascinating, but I get it. Wow, I get that. Okay, and yeah, and you've probably shed some things, some parts of you.
Oh, literally and figuratively speaking.
Physically and
Yeah.
spiritually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
I did
Well,
that with psychedelics though. Psychedelics, they actually helped me to break down something. Well, marijuana did first because people who see me smoke now and they think, oh, all these guys do is sit on camera and smoke and they spent their whole life smoking. They're a stoner. That is absolutely incorrect when it comes to me. I spent the majority of my life not doing any kind of drugs. I drank alcohol and stuff, especially in social settings, but I was, because of my line of work, being high or anything and stuff like that would take my edge away.
yeah.
So I was never any of those things. They weren't something I wanted to do. And it wasn't until my brain, so I had my brain explode, that after that was when I actually started smoking marijuana. My friends kind of pushed me towards it. And it really helped to
Good.
kind of help my brain to slow down. My brain was like a supercomputer. There was so many things going on that after brain surgery, like your brain is rattled. Your brain is at least mine was. It was very, very scattered. Like I couldn't put things together, and the world just seemed like it was going by. The world to me, like when I would look and see, it was almost hazy. Like there was a film, and this is nothing weird. This is things that your brain, like my eye. I'd have to explain the whole story, but basically, my right eye at the time was what they call asymmetrical. So I looked like I had a stroke, And this was, I couldn't open this eye, but at the same time, my eye was, as you know, looking at this eye. It was up here looking at my other eye. So all these things kind of affect, you know, and after my vision and stuff, like the world was just very, very blurry, and I couldn't focus. I couldn't focus on certain things at all. So once I started smoking marijuana, it kind of slowed my brain down and allowed me to kind of recalibrate, I guess you would say.
Yeah.
And kind of just relaxed me, you know, and gave me a place of where it gave me a place to start questioning things and be able to put those things together. And it made me a little bit more courageous, because I would have never talked about this stuff. You know, I knew that people would think, you know, you're crazy, you're bugging, as they would say and stuff. So it also made me a little bit more courageous to want to be able to talk and be able to share this stuff.
I think that's lovely. And, you know, it's a damn plant. You know,
Yeah.
you're smoking a damn plant, and it has benefits. And the benefits still, you know, of course you can find out a lot of stuff about it, but the benefits have always been there, and it's been fucking illegal. And now it's not
Exactly.
in many places. You
Yeah.
know, thank goodness, because I've seen the benefit over and over and over, you know, before it wasn't legal or was legal. And yeah, so good on you.
Listen,
Good on you. You know, my co-host fires one up right on camera.
Good. Good. That's what it's not hurting anybody.
And she has fibromyalgia, and you know, it helps.
Good.
You know, and then there are the remainder of us that do it strictly for pleasure. Yeah, but I never really did any pot until I was like 30. I think that was my milestone, 30 years old. And then, of course, it was illegal. You know, my sister used to slip it to me. But, you know, now I live in LA, and we have, you know, dispensaries everywhere. Every third street corner has a dispensary. And now
trust me, this I know now. That was one of the biggest things about being in LA. I enjoyed that. It's the only place I've ever been to a dispensary to is actually in California.
Yeah, it's glorious. And you don't even need to go through a big screening process. You just show them your driver's license. And I got a license because I have a medical condition. You know, I used to have shingles. So I go in there and, well, what's your condition? I said, I have neuropathy because I had shingles, you know, 30 years ago. Here's your license. But now all you have to do is, and then it expired. And then you have to, but then suddenly it became legal for recreational. And now you just go in, show your driver's license, you get signed up. And man, Jiggy, I have to tell you, the last place I went into looked like a damn jewelry store. They had lighted cases. They were all dressed in the same sort of black clothing. They had a theme. They had a brand. Everything was beautifully packaged in these little gold and silver things that, you know, were little jars with fancy labels. It's like shopping at a high end. Well, you know, then you got the trash places. You just go in, and it's, you know, a storefront. But man, the one I went to last time, and my neighbor takes me, and she's an old lady too. She's in her 70s. Jiggy, I'm in my 70s.
Hey, listen, rock out, baby. Live life. Do what you know, enjoy life. Again, you're living. You're not scared to live.
No, because, you know, we're all born dying.
Absolutely.
And yeah, but yeah, so my neighbor's going to take me again this week. You know, we safe distance in her car. She's had a vaccination, so now she boldly comes out her door without a mask. That kind of makes me a little uneasy.
Yeah.
But because I haven't been vaxxed yet. But yeah, we're going to go again this week. I'm going to go shop. Man, they have everything possible. There's stuff there that I don't know how to use. I do not know how to use. What do you call it? Shatter.
Oh, like the wax?
I don't know how do you use that? I don't have a clue. And nobody will really answer a question because they're not supposed to, because it's like giving medical advice. So they have to abide by really strict rules. Can you tell me anything about that? How do you do it?
I believe you. You might be asking the wrong because I've used like wax and stuff. Somebody even bought me what's called a rig, but I'm mostly a blunt smoker, so I don't.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I don't, because actually recently on a past few shows, not the last week, but a couple weeks before, we were smoking something. Smoking has with this again, see, I, I don't get all this stuff. I just smoke it. Whatever comes my way, I just kind of smoke it. But I think that is like wax. I think shatter is considered like wax, and you just need like a rig or something to smoke.
I
Sometimes you
don't
can line
I
it.
don't even know how to use wax. So there's a rig. So I don't understand what a rig is. I know what a bong is. I know what a hookah is. You know, all that
Right.
stuff. I have a little glass pipe, but I don't know what a rig is for wax.
Okay, so a rig is similar to a bong, but it's something you would need like a torch, like a really high flame torch. It has a high heat to heat this stuff up, and it vaporizes it pretty much. And you smoke it the same way you kind of would a bong, but it's just a little bit different.
I'll bet it's hot.
Yeah, it's extremely hot. Yeah, it takes a lot. You have to really heat the wax up because you're smoking the vapor of it.
I'll bet that vapor is hot. Man, see that I worry about my lungs with that, you know, because that is obviously would be a hotter pull than just lighting up a pipe of
Yeah,
cabbage.
it's definitely going to be a stronger pull. You're going to cough a lot more. Most people, some people don't. There's been times when I've hit it, and if you ever watch me hit it, I have big lungs. So, and then there's times when you're just going to sit there and cough. It depends on the person. I see some people hit rigs and stuff, and they don't cough at all. But it's something they do a lot. I don't do it commonly. So,
Oh, I cough my ass off even with one of these little electronic vapes.
gotcha.
Because man, I'll I'll cough almost to the point of puking. You know, so these are. I don't think these are good. I'm looking at one right now. It's one of these little. It's disposable. It's a little vape that's all loaded, and it's disposable once the light starts flashing and the battery's gone, and you know it's. But I'll be glad when it's gone because I'll never do this again because I cough my head off.
Do joints work for you?
Oh, sure. Yeah. Yeah. Just a regular.
I'm coughing now. Excuse me, folks.
by way of illustration.
Yeah.
Just smoking old-fashioned stuff the old-fashioned ways is that's my default right now. I cough less, but yay, that's yeah.
I made a couple of you guys moderators in the chat, just so you know. You may see it now because there were no moderators before, but clearly we need moderators just in case. Don't kick anybody out unless they're just stupid. That's all. I don't want anybody in here being sexist or racist or homophobic or transphobic or any of that shit. So other than that, we can all have a conversation. I'll tell you this, Robin. The thing that all right, so like even in my last surgery, I like when I woke up and they were telling me the different things they gave me, like they gave me fentanyl, they gave me propofol. I had these really powerful things in my system and stuff, and they've always given me these medications, and I'm quick to tell them like I don't want that stuff. My doctor, one of the doctors, the last time they did a procedure on me, I had a vacuum in my stomach. And they had to put it in or adjust it or do something to it. And they're like, okay, we're going to give you this stuff to take the pain away. I was like, no, you're not. You're just going to give me Tylenol. And he's like, no, you're going to need something like this. It's going to hurt. I was like, that's fine. So why are you trying to be a tough guy? I'm like, it's not about being a tough guy. I just don't like the way that those medications make me feel and stuff like at all. I'd rather go home. I told them about everything. Like once I get home and get to smoke a little bit, because they all know I smoke marijuana. I've always been, even before it was legal, my doctors knew. I'm like, prepare yourself in your drug test. There's going to be THC in my system. I don't care. I'm a grown man. I don't care. So there's nothing you can say that's going to change that. Yeah. And I just know that I'd rather go home and smoke a blunt or something like that, or hit a bowl or whatever and relax than take these crazy medications these people try to give me. Like it's insane, the stuff that they push. And here in Boston, they have an area they call methadone mild. Like you can literally see the effects of what drugs have done to people. And all these people, see, here's the misconception that people think that a lot of these folks are just people who just were habitual drug users and casual drug users and partied and did all this type of stuff. No, a lot of these folks got those drug habits and starts literally at hospitals because they're giving you Percocets, they're giving you all these different kind of medications, and they give it out like candy. And you wonder how these people get. No, I can see that's why I don't like those drugs. I know the effects of it. Like I don't like morphine. I don't like any of that stuff. Like it's all very, very it turns you into a literal zombie.
Yeah, I've seen that myself. But man, there are times and there are cases when it's really okay. My experience, I was scheduled for an angiogram because I had a heart attack last year, 2 heart attacks last year.
Wow.
Well, I'm an old woman, it comes with the territory. But I was scheduled for an angiogram, and it terrified me for some reason because I have really fragile veins. I mean, you just give me a little thump and I'll bruise. And I thought, man, if they snake a tube up my arm into my heart, I'm gonna. So I was terrified.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway,
They give you a PICC line?
no, it was up. Well, I guess it might. But
Yeah, that's what that is. That's I've had. Yeah, that's a PICC line. They basically
up
they
your
run it through your
arm.
arm into your heart. Yeah, so you're getting stuff
it was
directly into your heart.
Yeah, it was a PICC line. So
Yep.
I checked myself out of the hospital and took an Uber home the day that I was. And then, then I had my second heart attack. So I went, all right, I'm coming back in for the fucking angiogram. So I came in there, went in there, and they gave me fentanyl. And man, it saved my brain because I was like beside myself in terror because I knew I was going to die. And my daughter hadn't gotten there yet. And so I said, okay. And so they started it. And man, they could have eaten my legs off and I would not have cared. It was just, and I was awake the entire time. They started in my wrist and, and I was just talking to them and they were talking to me and we were making jokes and I was being a little controversial. Anyway, we had this, and so I felt really great and then it was over. It took a while for it to be over, but then it was over. And when I was in recovery, my daughter came in and she's, Mom, I'm sorry, I'm late. How you doing? I said, are you kidding? I'm wonderful. I said, I had my angiogram and the nurse came in and I said, man, what was that stuff? And she says, fentanyl. I said, can I take some home in my purse? And, that mortified my daughter. She told me about it later. But you know what? In that case, because, man, I don't do pain pills. I don't do any of that. Tylenol is my big go-to. If I have to, maybe that's once a year because I don't even get headaches.
Oh, lucky.
But I know I am. I know. But it has its place. And I've seen morphine have its definite place too, especially end of life. It's a miracle. Morphine is an absolute fucking miracle.
Oh, it takes everything away. I know.
It takes everything away. Yeah, my mom. Yeah, it eased her worry about not being able to breathe. And so yay morphine, yay fentanyl. And I was kidding. I really don't want to have it in my purse, but it was, it does have its place, but then, you do see the effects of abuse.
Right.
And that's the tragedy.
Yeah, some people just can't, some people have those type of, they're just susceptible to things like that. They get certain things in their system and they just, I get it. Like, they give you these, what they call a bolus. So literally you can just sit there with a button and just press it whenever you need morphine. And your brain, see, when, especially when you're first coming out of surgeries and stuff, like your brain isn't really wrapped itself around, at least not mine, what's happened. So you're feeling pain, you're feeling these things, you don't know where the root of it is, where it's coming from necessarily yet. So you just start pressing that button. And then you realize like hours later, like shit, like, I've literally been just sitting here sleeping and just out of it pressing this button. And at some point for me, it's like a fog lifts and I'm like, I just can't keep doing this. Like you'll never stop. Like nobody wants to be in pain. That's the thing. Like, especially if, I have a high pain tolerance, so I don't necessarily, have to be high or anything else to deal with pain. Whereas some people just don't like pain. They just can't handle any form of pain. So that's just going to help them through it. But in helping you through it, once you get out that hospital, well, you're still going to have pain. You're still going to have issues. And that's the thing. Are you always going to be trying to kill that pain? If you're going to have pain I know there's areas, especially my leg. I've been shot in my leg. My leg has metal and stuff inside of it. So there's always going to be issues with my leg. There's always going to be some form of pain. So my thing is, do I daily take a painkiller? Do I want to have Percocets I don't want any of that type of stuff. Like I might take a Tylenol, if that, and just kind of keep it moving because I know that I'm going to have to deal with the pain and just deal with it. But some people can't do that.
Yeah. And You know, low level pain can be like a part of your life. You know, you just work around it, you work with it, you make friends with it.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's, you can sort of like tuck it away back there so that it's not always in your consciousness so much. Women do that during labor, you know, you
No,
just
I
sort of,
don't know. I've never had no
oh, well,
children.
and I don't think that, oh, Spud Wife's in there. I don't know anybody in the chat who you know,
I
but you
sent her an invite. I sent Leah an invite. I think I sent you an invite as well, Jolly.
yeah, you
We'll be on
guys come
Twitter.
on with us.
Come on, don't
Let's
be stirred.
let's talk about labor pains and shit.
Yeah, because I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, well, you don't need to either, you know, and you know, I'm well past that.
I'm well past that too. At my age, there will be no Jiggy won't be having any children.
Okay, so you're past menopause.
Yep, menopause is gone. They've already taken my uterus out. Everything. I'm good. No kids for me.
Yeah, all your plumbing's been sealed off.
Yep.
Yeah, aren't you glad to be past the night sweats?
Yep, I have to worry about it. Yep, none of those things. I'm good.
Yeah, waking up in the swamp bed. Yeah. Okay, that's all I'm going to say about. I'm depressing myself, man. No. Okay, we won't talk about that anymore. Okay. So, boy, what haven't you want to cover it? You want to talk about it? What do you want to do, Jiggy?
We can talk
I'm
about
your
whatever. I'm having fun. I don't mind this. This is fun.
Oh, cool. God, hardly anybody says that about hanging out with an old lady.
No.
Okay.
No, see that's okay. See, my grandmother was one of the people I spent a lot of time in my life. She died when I was 12, but before that time, I spent a lot of time with her. And I was explaining some of this last night. Where I grew up, in the south end of Boston, I grew up literally the street behind me is where the Harriet Tubman House was in Boston. And so basically the Underground Railroad went under like where my house and everything is in my neighborhood.
History right there.
But my grandmother was a huge advocate of the elderly. And she worked at a place called the Women's Service Club in Boston. She would do Meals on Wheels for folks. She was part of Toys for Tots, all this stuff. So I spent a lot of time talking to older folks. I never called them elderly. I would just call them older folks. Yeah. And you get such a great history lesson. You get such a great life perspective when you're young from older folks because they're teaching you things that you just can't find in books. There's things that they talk about, you know, and this is where I grew up. My neighborhood was very diverse. So there were all kinds of people who I would talk to from all kinds of places who explained all kinds of things to me. And it was like, again, it was not stuff I would have ever found in books. It's not stuff that was on TV. It's not stuff that was in movies, but it was better than all that stuff because these people's real life experience, in contrast to mine, especially at that time being a kid, was amazing to me. So hanging out with older folks has never been a problem because I tell young folks this all the time. Like, I want to know my history and stuff like that. I want to know the history. Then ask your parents, ask your grandparents, ask your great parents if they're around, ask your aunt, ask your uncle, ask the older folks in your neighborhoods where you grow up and stuff. And then you'll know what the history really is, not the stuff that they just tell you in books. Because that's the most important history, is the real history, because that's the stuff that really gets passed down, that people talk about, and they should continue to talk about, that doesn't appear in books. It just doesn't.
Yeah, and no matter what the intent of the author, it is written by somebody with a slant, a viewpoint.
Yes.
Well, talking to real people in person, that has a slant and a viewpoint too, but it's real.
Right.
It's like in the moment, right? That I know, man, when I was young, married, the old people in my children's father's family were just brilliant in sharing their stories and how life was like, what it was like, and their philosophy about it, and their assessment of what their life meant to them. Yeah, it's, and I learned some of the best cooking from the old folks I've encountered. Yes. Holy shit. I would never know how to use fatback or to make greens, or how to make food out of a dandelion plant, or how to make a good pot of beans or chili, that kind of stuff. Yes. That stuff sticks with you.
Yeah.
And then, and now I'm one of those old folks. And then there are you coming up here after us. You make me smile, Jiggy. You really do. Bless your heart.
I don't know what I did.
I think you came up pretty good.
Well, it came up during a good time. It was still values and everything are different now. Things are just different. That's just how the world works. That's also what I've come to understand with age, that things just change.
They
But
sure do.
it's the community sense. Like you talked about the beans and everything, the stuff that you learned. That's because we grew up in a time when there were still communities, even my generation, where not so much anymore. That village. You always talked about, how the village raised the children, the whole
Yeah,
neighborhood. That
the
doesn't. There's no
neighborhoods.
village anymore. There's no. They blew up the village. The village is gone. Like it's
Eh,
just not something that really exists anymore.
Oh, and that's the thing. We are encouraged to be separate. We are encouraged more and more and more to be labeled,
Yes.
to label one another, and then draw an opinion from that. And it just keep us separate, keep us uninvolved, make us judgmental, and I didn't grow up like that. Of course, there were things like prejudice and the dumb things like that, but it was way more simple back then.
Absolutely.
You dealt with, my parents were, I grew up, I'm a different person than them. I was determined because, but that's all we had to deal with back then. Now there are like so many categories to groups of people to resent or be suspicious of, or label them different or odd or crazy or non-essential or canceled.
Because everybody has to have an enemy. There's always going to be an enemy. There always has to be a devil, a scapegoat for everything that we do. There's got to be. That's how human beings work. They can't be held accountable. None of us can be held accountable for what we do. It's always something else that does it. You got to find something to be the bad guy.
Yeah. What happened to honor?
Well, I think the internet. I think once the world got to see the whole world for what it really is, and we all get to see each other and we get to talk no matter where you are, what's going on, we developed a very much of a me attitude. Everything is about me. It's the camera. It's taking pictures. It's letting everybody know what you're eating, that you're sleeping, if you're shitting, if you're whatever you're doing, everybody has to know what you're doing. It taught society to be very much about me, the individualism, and that's. I mean, it's good to be yourself and express yourself and everything like that. But it's hard when you have almost 8 billion people on a planet. And if there's 8 billion people all doing their own thing, it's
24/7.
Right. The world just can't work. Like that's the world we have structures to it. Listen, it'd be great if every person on this planet had their plot of land, was whatever working or doing, whatever they did to feed themselves, to live, they weren't bothering nobody, whatever their religion, whatever. If everybody could live like that, it'd be great. But the way our society is structured, it just doesn't work like that. Everybody talks about being a boss, but everybody can't be a boss because there has to be workers. If everybody was rich, somebody would still get richer having to take out people's garbage or doing whatever, or making food or processing food, whatever. That's the way society is structured. It's not structured for everybody to be an individual. It just can't work like that. It'd be great if it did. But we would just might as well just become cavemen again, or just become primitive people and be simple, because that's what it would be. And none of this would go on. We wouldn't be having these conversations. There really wouldn't be any interaction. We would all just be individual people doing our own thing. And that's cool when you have a small village somewhere. When we started out, when there was a lot less people on the planet, that people could kind of go off and be individuals. But all those individuals is why we have different countries, different religions, different rules all over the world, because all those people who were together at some point became individuals.
Yeah, they migrated, they sought out other places, and and then started new stuff, and
here we are, almost 8 billion people on the planet.
here we are, and thinking that we're all connected because it's 24/7. Look at fucking Twitter. Look at, boy, when I grew up, you had a phone in your house.
Shit, you're lucky if you had a phone some places.
I know, but we were, upscale. We had a phone in the house, only one, but you left the house and the phone was still there.
Yep.
You went to the store, the phone was still back at the house. It did not stress us out.
Nope.
We had no anxiety over that phone still being back in the house because we knew where it was. We could always pick it up once we were home. But you go on trips, you drive down the highway for thousands of miles, road trips, and you don't talk to anybody till you get to the next phone.
Shit, they may not even know you're coming. They may not even know you're coming.
Surprise!
Exactly.
We've come to visit. Sometimes that used to freak me out, but then other times it was joyous because you knew you could do it.
Yeah.
But we would be gone for hours, days, and didn't call anybody on a telephone.
Nope.
Can you imagine? That is absolutely impossible now.
Think about it. You didn't even check messages. There was nothing to take a message. There wasn't even a voice. What do you call it? Answering machine. None
we
of that.
didn't have answering machines
Nope.
until God, late 70s.
Yeah, maybe
80s.
late 70s, early 80s, maybe when they finally came around. Yeah, but yeah,
And they were big and clunky, and you had to push all the buttons and the tapes, and the tapes would run out. Then you had to flip it over, and and you couldn't erase it too many times because it would snap. Whew, man, Jiggy, I think you're officially a dinosaur.
Oh, I know that. Yes, I'm a Tyrannosaurus Rex. I know.
Is that with the guy with the little short arms? You can't change the sheets because your arms.
Yeah, but he has a big. He's got a big head and everything. See, that's me. See, I'm a T-Rex.
Okay, probably big feet too.
Yeah, I do have big feet.
Okay, I don't want to go there. Okay, so probably if I were young and dewy, I would want to go there. But yeah, not today. So wait, I'm looking over at the chat. Jolly Bridge Burner said you should see what they stash in their pouches. What are you guys talking about?
Now, Jolly Bridge Burner too. I need to clarify. Are you a male or female? I just don't know. And I think yesterday they were saying that you're female, so I want to make sure I address you correctly. But I think that Jolly is referring to maybe the T-Rexes have pouches. I don't think T-Rexes have pouches. Kangaroos, maybe?
I think they're talking.
Oh, yeah, someone's talking about kangaroos. Yeah.
Marsupials.
Instead of these guys just coming, that's what I'm saying. Like, the chat is weird. Like, they all have invites. They're just coming and have a conversation. They like to talk to each other in chat.
But look, Spooky Dookie is here.
Howdy doody.
Spooky.
I wish I knew this was happening. I fell asleep and then I woke up and I was like, I'm gonna play some Soul Calibur and stream. And the whole time this was going on, I was like doing that, and then I just stopped and saw you guys were live, and I was like, I wish I knew. I wish I knew.
Now you know.
Here you are.
Now, now here I am.
You came at the right time.
I did.
Yay. Okay, we have a troika.
Wait, what's a troika?
A troika.
Isn't a troika a machine gun from Gears of War?
Oh,
no,
I should know that. I don't know why I don't, but that was my game too.
Okay. So I have seen it most applied to a musical group of three, a troika.
Oh, that's called an entanglement nowadays.
Okay, or a gang hookup, or a
that's called the Will Smith.
Boy, he's interesting, huh? He and Jada.
Listen, hey, whatever works. Get through life however you get through it.
They make it work for them.
Exactly.
Bless them. Hey. They're happy. They take good pictures.
Hey, listen. Live your life. Whatever works for you. I'm like, again, I don't care what anybody else does. If you're happy, I'm happy. You're not hurting me. I'm not hurting you. Keep it moving.
Means nothing to me, but they are pretty. They're really pretty folks. So yay on you guys. If you guys were ugly and had warts and stuff, it wouldn't be the same for you guys. So thank the gods that you guys are just gorgeous.
But they're also talented too, though.
They're also talented. God, they've got all that stuff going for them.
I know. Some people are they're just lucky. They're just gifted.
I know. And then hey, well played, Jada and Will.
Well played, Will. I gave Will all his props last night. Will's the man. That's one person I haven't met that I'd like to. I didn't get to meet Michael Jackson. That's the one person I didn't get to see perform that I would have liked to see perform. I would like to have seen MJ live. And I'd like to meet Will Smith because I mean I've met everybody else pretty much, like yeah, everybody. So
Oh, he's cute as hell.
Will Smith has a really good work ethic.
oh, he's the man. Like he's kept it going. He went from a rapper to what he's doing, movies, production, everything.
Yeah,
Like, shit.
yeah, and he dances. Yeah,
Yep.
he's just he's yeah. Yeah, okay,
Somebody
John.
seems smitten. Someone seems a little smitten on Will.
Oh, I am. I am. I used to feel that way about Michael Jackson, like way back when he was little.
When he was
When he
actually he looked normal, you mean, before
when he
he
was
went
still-
all
when he was-
suicidal alien looking thing, whatever he was.
Still
In the end.
cute. God, he was cute. And so sparkly and charming, and then his face froze.
Well, he froze his face. He was sleeping
He
in
froze his-
hyperbaric chambers with he supposedly he didn't have vitiligo. There's no way that was vitiligo. So good luck with that.
You don't
theory,
think
but-
so? I believe that.
No, I had a girlfriend who had vitiligo and stuff. I get that how it could happen, but the progression of watching him through plastic surgery and everything, it just you knew that he was just lightening himself. It just it's
Bleaching
absolutely
it
what's going
out.
on. Yeah, he was doing people in Hollywood like the shit that they would do, which ends up becoming common and stuff now. Like is insane. Like the amount of money that they would pay to have stuff done in silence, and they still do. All the plastic surgery and stuff, even more so now, and everything that they do in silence is incredible because the money that they have, they can get whatever the fuck they want. So he was doing that shit way before it became popular. Bleaching is popular in a lot of countries for some reason. Some people just aren't comfortable in their skin.
Yeah, you can have odd places on your body bleached, from what I understand.
Oh yeah, some women get their anus bleached and they've
Oh.
yeah, all kind. I've heard about women definitely getting anal bleaching for some reason.
Oh,
I guess
oh,
the pucker is darker than everything else. Like,
well, who wants to even know? The lights are supposed to be off, for God's sake.
well, those are usually those tend to be women who are like models and people who do stuff where I guess if you were wearing like maybe
It
something,
shows.
yeah, like you don't want like your excuse me, but your
Yeah.
asshole looking
Yeah.
like different than everything
Yeah.
else. So,
Oops, my skirt blew up in the wind.
yeah, it might look like they had a bad day. You know, like why is your anus that? Like, did you just shart or something? Like, so they just nip that one in the bud before anyone even gets to ask that question. It's like, no, we'll get it bleached. I guess. I don't want any job where I have to get my asshole bleached. Like, I'm good. I couldn't even imagine
What
as a man
kind of
what-
job
Well,
would
I-
there be?
I wouldn't want to be the bleacher. Who would take on that kind of a job
Listen,
to do that during your day?
okay. There's people who have a lot crazier jobs than that. Like anything that involves anal play is like when someone has even doctors, like when you have to get a colonoscopy. Listen, I'm going to tell you something. I was lucky. That was the only lucky thing about my surgery is that I ended up having to have a colonoscopy, but they went through what's called my stoma, which is actually where my colostomy bag was.
Yeah.
So they went through that. They didn't actually go through my asshole. So I was kind of happy about that. I woke up in the middle of it too.
Otherwise, you'd be gay.
No, I don't think it makes you gay. I mean, men have to. You have to get colonoscopies. That's the thing. Like, men can say whatever they want, but this is something you really want to get done. Like, you need to know what's
Yeah,
going on with your
you've
colon
got
because you could
some
end up like me.
Yeah.
You could end up with a lot worse. So trust me, that's something that men need to get done. Like, it's this part of getting older. You need to know what's going on with your body.
Yeah,
didn't-
consider that a public service announcement. Everybody watching right now or after this, you guys, I think they're recommending that men, if they're approaching 50,
Yep, and that's exactly. I was 49 years old, literally. So they would have done it. I would have had to get it done in the next few months, anyways. But it happened that all this shit happened before I would even gotten the colonoscopy done.
yeah, and women too. It's not just for men. Women too. If you're approaching 50, it's about time. And I can't give medical advice because I'm not a doctor, but it is recommended that you get stuff checked out. Yeah, and then it should be, I think, an intermittent thing after the first time, just to follow up and stuff.
Yep, just know what's going on with your body. I was at that cusp, like literally, I was 49 years old. I was 3 or 4 months away from my 50th birthday when all this stuff went on.
Yeah.
So it's better to know than not. And the thing about it too is like I didn't know anything about a colostomy bag. I've since
Mm.
understood that most people who have them don't really talk about it. Like you wouldn't even know, like unless you knew and told you I had them. There was times when I was sitting there on the show, doing the show for months with the colostomy bag, and nobody knew. I just didn't talk about it. But
Well, was it one of the external ones because they're internals too?
yeah, no, mine's is external. I had literally like
Because it was temporary.
Yeah, well, yeah, I guess I don't know how. I know that there's ileoscopies, there's
Yeah.
different things that there's different kind of bags they have. My particular one was an external one, so and it wasn't a pleasant experience at all. Like I did not like that. So
Yeah, but they had their eye toward the future, so I understand why it was external.
oh yeah, but listen, my that was the thing. Like when they told me like you have it took them like weeks to explain it to me because I could not wrap my head around it. But then they kept telling me that I could have it reversed, and I would have actually.
Yeah.
I ended up being 8 months. It would have only been 6 months, but because of the pandemic, I had to
Oh.
wait to have my surgery 2 extra months.
Yeah, because they considered that elective.
Yeah, well, they just didn't even want. They wouldn't want you in the hospital anyways because it was the height of the pandemic and they were battling COVID, so they were more
vulnerability.
concerned about too. Yeah, so that was the other thing that went on. Which I think I should get the end. I'm not one of those people like, oh my god, I had it, but there's a lot of sequence of things that went on when I was in the hospital, and that was like October, where it started with my breathing, which makes sense because of what is it, septicemia, whatever you call it.
Yeah.
But I also, when I got out the hospital, I couldn't taste anything for almost a month and a half. Like I lost an extreme amount of weight because I just couldn't eat. And nothing tastes good. I couldn't really. Food was
No
just
pleasure.
to me, nothing at all.
Yeah.
You know, so there was just different things, and I had issues with my heart as well, which a lot of people don't know. I didn't really talk, but I had issues with my heart during surgery as well. So those three things all popped up when I was dealing with that. So who knows? They don't know what even made my colon get inflamed. I personally think it was because I was so high above sea level, and I had never been that high above sea level. My body just kind of reacted to it in a not so necessarily positive way, obviously. So. I'm no doctor, but they haven't actually just pinpointed exactly what set it all off. So,
Okay, and inflammatory bowel conditions sometimes comes from foods you're eating.
yeah, they said too it could have been like if I had corn or there was certain things.
Something and then if you're in a depleted state, it's going to really affect you more than it normally would. Where normally, if you would eat something that didn't agree with you, you'd maybe have the shits the next day or something. But yeah, it can become inflamed. And this is only what I worked for a doctor for a whole lot of years, and so this is just stuff I've heard. But yeah, but. Boy, bless your heart. So that it was 8 months, and then was it challenging getting back to using all your plumbing all hooked up again?
No, it was not. I don't even
really. It was a smooth move.
It's. I mean, I don't even want to talk about it. There was one part of it that was just oh god, like I have a really queasy stomach when it comes to all this shit. I don't handle that type of stuff well. But no, it was actually a pretty good transition.
Easy transition, good.
Yeah. And to be honest with you, like I almost seem surreal now. Like I don't even remember physically all the stuff that I don't know if that makes sense, but I'm kind of removed my mind from it. Like I don't physically remember feeling the certain things that will go on. Like my stomach will never be the same. Like I literally still feel like I have all the staples and stuff in my stomach. Like my because they had to reduce, my tummy. Because a lot of stuff got cut away because obviously with septicemia, they literally had to cut a big ass hole in my stomach to get in there and clean my my organs and everything. So there was like major shit gone. But my doctor actually, he told me, he's like, when I do the second surgery, I'll make your stomach look as good as possible. Like for some reason, when Mass General Hospital here is where I go when anything's happening. These people have always saved my life. Like you can't even tell if you look at my head that I had a craniotomy, and you can't tell I had brain surgery. And it's this hospital, like they're just incredible people. They do incredible work there. They're like I was saying last night, literally my whole life, being religious, when I was religious and into religion and stuff, and hearing about angels, the only angels I've ever encountered on this plane have been doctors and nurses and first responders and people like that and stuff, and family and friends. Like those are the only angels that I know of, that I can speak of.
Oh.
Amen.
It's the truth. I mean, people, they always want to credit some benevolent creatures out there, something else, God, Jesus, aliens, blue avians, triangle heads, light beings, light workers, everything else but human beings. It's just so incredible. Like, it's like they just skip the most obvious to go to everything else.
I know. Pay more attention to your fellows,
Yeah.
you guys, because there's where the genius lies. There's where the magic is. There's where transformations are possible, and having your life saved. There's no anything flapping around you with a gold halo, sprinkling fairy dust on you. Look to your fellows.
Yeah. They're so quick to tell. Like, the one thing my dad, oh my God, you recovered so great. You've done so well. You did all this. I'm like, I didn't do shit. Like, you all did this. Like, I did not. If you didn't do the stuff that you did, I wouldn't be recovering. Like, that's great. Okay, yeah, I have a miraculous recovery from brain, blah, 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 blah. That's all great. But without you all, none of that would be possible. So to me, like, the credit never really goes where it goes. People, they wake up from surgery, or you go and tell a family member, oh, so your husband or your wife or your mother or your whatever had just had this surgery. We just did 16 hours of surgery and we did this and we saved their life. And what's the first people say? Oh, well, thank God. Okay, I guess. Like, there's nothing wrong with believing in God, but how about thank you, doctor? Like, they don't even thank the person who's just spent, 14 hours in surgery, all sweaty and tired and everything, but they're saving your loved one's life. They don't think about
all that education to reach that point where they can open you up and touch your most secret interiors and fix it.
Yep.
Yeah, and don't give me that crap while your spirit guide was directing them either.
Yeah, okay. Yep, that's what it was. Yeah, it was the hand of God. It was working their hand as they were
working through the doctor.
Please. It was actually a 20 and back.
20 and crack.
Oh, dear Jesus, 20 and crack.
That's 20 years of crack. That's what that is. Shit.
Yeah, it has a cumulative effect.
I wonder if that dude doesn't come after me because his wife has a crush on me. I wonder if that's what it is.
Wait. Tell me this story.
But it's been told a few times. I try not to beat the drum because I don't try to be an asshole about it.
Well, I'm a late comer. Can you tell the story?
Well, let's just say at one of the events that I went to, one of these folks' wives were first like just running their mouths and touting their mouths about their incredible husband and the work he did and stuff like that. And then I wasn't really receptive of all that. And then as I got to tell my story and talk to this person, all of a sudden I became like her best friend. And she was just happy. And then she got drunk at the end of the night and ran up and jumped in my arms to give me a big hug and didn't want me to leave and go to because I'd never stay at the same hotel the events are at. So.
Boy, I think that's pretty smart.
Listen, I know a go. It's a Comic-Con. All these things I've been going to cons, Comic-Cons, Paracons, Ghost Cons, Crypto Cons for years, but it always started with comic books for me because I was a comic book collector for a long time. Yeah. So I've watched how these things are basically nothing but Comic-Cons minus most of the cosplay. Yeah, some of these people dress up. You'll get Emery Smith who shows up in his fucking Space Ranger outfit, whatever the fuck it is. I don't know what this dude thinks he's like Buck Rogers or some shit. Like I literally used to watch a show called. He thinks he's Buck. I don't know, Spooky, if you're old enough, Robin. I don't know if you were into sci-fi, but there was a show called Buck Rogers in the 25th century, maybe.
Yes.
And what is it? What was his name? Shit. What was the robot's name?
Fuck.
Oh. It was Dr. Theopolis, I believe, was the one that was the circle or something like that. But he was carried by Twiggy. Twiggy was his name.
Right. Yes.
Okay. Oh yeah, Lee Veltman, Briss Agnew. Yeah, but see, here's the thing. Brooks and his woman dressed up. I believe it was him and his woman who came in the costume because it was supposed to be cosplay. If I believe it right, everybody else got it wrong. He dressed up because people were supposed to be dressed up. And that makes sense. Like, listen, they know that they're LARPers. So it's like for you to show up in the costume makes it even that much more real for me. When I saw Emery Smith at Conscious Life Expo walking around with his bodyguards and shit and everything in these uniforms, okay. What fucking bodyguard security Could you? Okay, the one thing about the Secret Service. Let's take the Secret Service for instance. Now, I know people who've worked for the Secret Service and what they do. But if you know anything about the Secret Service, you're not, as the average individual, going to look around, even the president, around anybody where the Secret Service works undercover, and know that they're Secret Service agents. There's a particular reason why bodyguards, why people who would do security, personal protection, dress a certain way and stuff like that. Is so they might be taller in most cases or bigger people where they would stand out, but they dress like most of the people they're around, so they blend in. Why would you, if you feared for your life and you thought this secret cabal of people who could take out presidents, could take out dignitaries, can take out rich, powerful people, can kill anybody they want, whenever the fuck they want, would you be walking around with security, with big ass mall security looking uniforms on, which say security in big letters across their back? You might as well just have a big ass target on your back, because the first thing they would do is take out those people that your security, because I can see these motherfuckers. Let me take them out first. It ain't gonna be that hard. Come on.
No kidding. And they look like rent-a-cops.
Exactly. And anybody who requires that level of security is not going to Conscious Life Expo. They're not. They're not going to put themselves at risk to go to an event, to contact in the desert for a couple of thousand people to talk to. They're just not going to do that. It's not worth it to them. There's no way that the people who are throwing these events could even afford to have somebody like that come and speak. It's just not the place these things are going to happen. So these the LARPers, they might as well all just dress up so you can just see what they really are. Put your fake uniforms on and march around in them, so we all just know what you really are. There you go. It's just Comic-Con. That's all it is. You guys think that you're Captain Kirk and that you're going to work the circuit for your rest of your life and have a booth and sign and shit. If you know anything about what's Captain Kirk's real name, fuck, why can't I remember?
William Shatner.
Thank you, William Shatner. If you've ever been to a Comic-Con and you've gotten the displeasure, I'm sorry, to meet this dude, and it's not because he's an asshole, it's not because he's a bad guy. He just hates that his career was defined and still is defined for the average person for being Captain Kirk.
Well, because he really wanted to be Laurence Olivier.
Right, he wanted to be a legit actor.
Yeah, Shakespeare and all that shit. Yeah,
he's a thespian.
Yeah, and I think he's a little tiny guy too, with a Napoleon complex. Hence the assholeness. But
I'm William Shatner.
so, dude, be glad for what you have.
Exactly, like you're an icon.
And he kind of shits on that. What a little jerk.
It's one of the most iconic roles ever. And Star Trek is such a paramount show in the history of science fiction, in the history of television.
Yeah, it started it all.
Right. The first interracial kiss, the first interspecies kiss.
Interspecies. Now there's a big one, dude.
Yeah, because he was kissing aliens and random shit. He was having sex with everything that moved.
Yeah, I know. The Randy Captain. But from what I understand, from what I gather, first, before I get to that, C.W. Chanter said that when he went to something in the desert,
contact in the desert.
He says the demographics. He says there wasn't hardly anybody under 60 years old.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's exactly what that is. Yeah. And if that was the first thing I noticed, that out of all the events, that one definitely is, but that's the coast to coast AM crowd. Those are the people who have been following, because George Norrie goes there, Von Daniken goes there. You have the same speakers. It would have been Wilcox and Good and all these guys, but they're not allowed to circuit anymore.
I totally get that, because my mom after she retired, used to listen to Art Bell.
Yep. Oh, Art was the man though.
Yep.
She was in love with him. Well, then my mother was also in love with Tom Selleck. She actually had his poster on her ceiling above her bed. I do not lie to you.
Hey, I had so let me see. What were the posters in my room when I was a kid? It was Farrah Fawcett. It was Bo Derek from 10, Pam Grier, Jane Kennedy, who was like the first Black Supermodel, I believe who she is. And it's like random stuff. And it was like 20th Century Foxes. So it was like, what was it, Jodie Foster, whatever other girls were in that fucking movie. I had the randomest taste. The first LP, it was a 45 that I ever bought, was from the soundtrack from a movie called Convoy. So it was actually a country western record.
Oh my God.
That's right.
Oh, My God, yeah, because I have my oldest kid would have been your age, so yeah, I raised kids who had that around. Yeah, oh my God, my posters? I had posters of Fabian, Frankie Avalon, Bobby Darin, Sandra D. Who else? Johnny Cash. I had every one of Johnny Cash's albums.
Hello, I'm the man in black.
I used to sit or stand in front of my mirror using a hairbrush as a microphone and sing to Johnny Cash and harmonize with him and stuff. I just wanted Johnny Cash so much when I was.
You ever get to see him live?
14. No. But I had every one of his albums. No, didn't get to see. I did see Bruce Springsteen live.
Nice.
Yeah, here in LA. Saw Elton John live. Saw him live. Barry Manilow. Yeah, those guys. Oh, who else? KD Lang and the guy that used to breathe into the microphone really hard, and everybody loved him. And I thought he was a jerk ass.
Joe Cocker.
Oh no, he was cool. He was cool. Who am I thinking of? He has a really nerdy name. He used to open for a lot of acts at the Hollywood Bowl. It'll come to me when I don't give a shit anymore. But Rufus Wainwright.
I don't know if I know who that is.
I know that name.
Do you? Yeah, he used to get too close to the microphone, so before every line of lyrics, you could hear him do his intake of breath, and it was all that during the live concert. But now he's very respected. He's all grizzled and gray, and Rufus Wainwright. His name is hard to say. I'll never say it again now.
Rufus Wainwright.
Yeah.
I've never heard that name.
Yeah, Lee Veltman said Barry Manilow was one of his first concerts when you were like 7. Oh, honey, you're like.
I have a story like that.
Oh,
when I was like 8, I went to see Cliff Richard supported by Olivia Newton-John, and that was in like 2001, 2002.
You guys are so tame. My first concert at 7 years old was a Parliament Funkadelic concert.
What is that? What is that?
P-Funk. Atomic Doll. I can't sing right now. My voice is all scratchy. But yeah,
you're obviously way more progressive than us from the get-go.
Oh, and it's funny because I got to party with them on my 47th birthday. So it was 40 years from the time that I saw their first concert. And they actually were in Boston, and they're friends of mine now. So I would go annually when they came, but I went with all my friends and we were on stage smoking with them, having the time of my fucking life. I loved it.
Wow.
That's neat.
Well, boy, am I tame. Jesus. So
yeah, no, I was. My mother was a singer, so she sang in what do you call it, funk bands. So we would be in like the shadiest fucking bars and stuff as kids, like black biker bars and everything, with these funk bands and stuff performing, and bikers around and women on their fucking back of motorcycles with their titties hanging out and stuff. And we were kids, but this is a different day and age. Like, you would walk in the bars and go sit down, and they'd give you a Shirley Temple. You take a kid in a bar now, you could get in fucking trouble. It was just a different time. So it was a little bit more loose and free, and there was definitely a lot of loose and free back then.
I know, we had so many more freedoms back then, didn't we?
Yeah, the world just you grew up quicker, but when you grew up, like when they think they grew up quick now.
You grew up. Right. People right now, they ain't growing up.
That's Toys R Us's fault. See, you never ever have a jingle that says, "I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid." They never, now their parents would sing that stuff, and their kids were like, okay, well, if my parent is singing that jingle, then that means I don't ever have to grow up. See, y'all started that shit. Blame it on Toys R Us.
Well, keep it simple, folks. Yeah, keep it simple. Blame one entity for it.
Exactly. It's like the devil. You got to find something to blame shit on. It ain't us. It's not us. Listen, I'm not a parent, but the funniest thing I've raised children and stuff. I've raised other people's children. I've raised nieces and nephews. I have a grandbaby now, but I never had a child physically. Well, I couldn't anyways, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
people like they don't take responsibility for raising these children. Like you hear all these people talk about all these fucked up kids and all this stuff. And it's like, yeah, but y'all do realize we raised these kids. So these kids are fucked up. It's our fault. It's something that we did. And I know, I don't know how it is in England or other countries necessarily. I know in America, one of the things that changed was you couldn't beat your child. And I know that beating a child can be excessive because some people were very excessive and heavy hands. But
fringe extremist people,
but they won't. You cannot discipline your child. Like, and when someone takes away your ability to raise your own child with the way your fundamentals and how you think and believe and stuff like that, then this is exactly the end result. Is that all these kids walk around like, well, you can't beat me, or you can't do this and you can't do that, and if you just do that, what are you gonna do? Take my phone away? And if you do that, I'm gonna tell my teachers that you did this and did that and shit. Like, you empowered these kids to no longer be raised, to have parents. Like, you're just there. You're like a friend to them now, to some of these people, because these kids
it's like turning them over to the culture,
right,
and away from like the more conservative family values that would kind of keep them on the more straight and narrow path.
Just sort of dropping out of it all. That's God, boy, yeah. When I was raising my kids, it was sort of important. Well, not important. It was just a thing. I think it was cool that my kids feared me a little bit. My kids feared their father a little bit. You know, it wasn't like something oppressive hanging over you, but you knew that there were lines you didn't cross. And every time you crossed a line, you found out. And, you know, you do something swift and just and to let them know. And some people call it respect.
BB, you're being nice. I'm going to put it to you like this real quick. Sorry to interrupt you, but growing up into where I am in 51 years of age almost, I will tell you this, that I've had knockdown, drag out fights. I've been jumped, bar brawls, anything you could think of. I've had it. And not one of those dudes ever beat my ass worse than my mama. Not one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's all I got to say about that. Okay. Not one of them.
Yeah. And there was no wait. There was not even any of that. Wait till your dad gets home. You dealt with it right then.
Shit, my dad beat me. I think I remember one beating from my father in my whole life.
Yeah.
What did you do?
I swore or something like that. So my mother told my father when he came home that I swore or whatever, and then he proceeded to beat me when I got out the tub.
You're so bad, Jiggy.
I know. I was hard. Here's the thing. The shit that I got punished for was nominal, like shit that most kids get punished for. It's the shit that I was doing that my mother will tell you, like, if you ever hear my mother talk, like, she'll act like she knows all the shit I ever did. No, she didn't, because I'd be dead. Because the shit that I was doing, she didn't know the crazy shit I was doing. She still doesn't know all of it to this day. Like, I'm just not
I have the same thing.
Well, yeah, but you know what? I'm sure your mama was wise enough to know she didn't have to win every battle.
No, she wanted to know the shit I was doing. She raised me. I was smart enough to know when to walk away. That was it. I was the gambler. You know, I knew when to fold them. I knew when to hold them. That's the easiest way that I can explain who I am and who I've always been. Like, I'm a leader. I've never been a follower. And and if I did follow you, I'm only because I trust you a little bit. I'm only going to follow you so far. I don't think that there's very few people on this planet who exist who, if they just said, you know, Jiggy, follow me and just continue to follow me, that I would do that. And it would be because it'd be a trust issue, because I knew that they were leading me someplace I needed to go or to get away from something. But yeah, I'm a leader. I'm definitely nobody's follower. So I always knew when to walk away from shit like that. That's why I tell people, you just think of that song. Like, if you don't know that Kenny Rogers song, from The Gambler, it's, you know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away, but also know when to run. Like, that's also a very important. It's a very important life lesson in that song right there. In those 4 little verses right there, it's telling you exactly how to live life, and that's the smart thing too. Because some people don't know when to run. You got to know when to get up and get the fuck out of there.
Yeah, and even as simple as shut the fuck up.
Hey.
Wait a minute.
BG.
How's it
I'm
going?
here.
I don't even think she really exists. I think that she's just a voice.
My God, Bee Gees, it's been a long time, dear.
I know. I'm just bringing my bins in. I'm sorry it's so noisy.
God damn, BG, your fucking voice is hot.
Isn't she cute?
Oh my God, I wish you liked the answering thing for like my Siri. It was Australian, but it was like not a good Australian. I want it to be you. Can you take a job with Siri?
Hell yeah.
God damn,
Pay me, bitch.
Australian women have like the sexiest accents.
I
Sorry, that's distracting. Like I've heard her voice before, but maybe because my brain has been in such a fog, I don't really remember it. Jeez, all right, you go, girl.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
pretend to be
I was
Australian
like,
for you.
you sent me the link, and I'm like, man, I'm at work. I hope they're still going to be on when I get home.
Yeah, it gets weird around here. Last night was my first like real live stream, and we ended up doing almost 6 hours.
Yeah, I'm like, what was that? Okay,
That was
aren't you
intense.
doing the hood anymore?
No, we're still doing paranormal. This is just more, I've had this channel for a while. I don't really utilize it. And there were just people who would text me or email me or DM me and stuff and just ask me questions. And I'm not really into the whole, answering questions and going back and forth with these crazy conversations and private messenger type of stuff. So I'd rather
Yeah.
just put stuff out there. If people have questions and just want to talk about whatever, this is just kind of the
Hell
place
yeah.
to do it now. And it also
Cool.
gives me a chance where I said that I feel like what we do on Thursday nights is almost like us talking to you guys, where
Yeah.
now we can all talk together and it could be a little bit more of a personal thing.
I
Love
think
it.
it's lovely. Yeah, and boy, I'm having a great time
Good.
with you guys. So, Bee Gees, okay, you have to talk now, and we'll all listen. Do you have a story you want to
Oh
share?
my
Anything
God,
just so we can
do I
listen
have
to
a
you?
story? Shit.
It doesn't
I have
involve
been back
peeing or
at work.
backpacks though, right?
No.
Okay, just making sure.
I've been at work for like full time for the last 2 weeks, so that's why I've not been around. I went back to work in November and just part time, and I've just missed everyone's live chats. Like I miss everything, and it's just not the same when you watch it back when it's not live.
Yeah.
So I'm really happy that I
Leftovers.
caught this. So I've been dealing with little shits at work, little kids. Ages 10, 11, 12, 13, just rampantly destroying stuff for no good reason. Dealing with the
What kind of work
police.
do you
Is that
do?
like a lockdown issue?
I work in a public library, so
What?
Oh,
yeah.
Wait. Are you a
Wait.
Wait, are you a librarian? Are you like a sexy librarian, BGs?
I don't have glasses, but I have a bum.
Wait. All right, hold on. You have to slow down and explain. What did you don't have baskets, but you have a bum? What was that?
I don't
No.
have glasses.
Oh, okay.
But I have a bun, B-U-N, N for
Oh.
Nelly. I've got a bum too, but how?
I thought you were saying you were no tits and all ass. My bad.
Oh, well, no, I'm not that either.
well, that was kind of cool, though.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
But okay, libraries are supposed to be a place of serenity and quiet and.
Well, libraries these days are quite a community hub. So lots of action, lots of noise, not like the traditional, this is a library. Like we don't
Oh,
have
dear.
that anymore. But,
Oh, honey,
yeah.
that'd make my head explode.
It's, today I was like, very sick of the children screaming, but, we just had a lot of young ones in and because a lot of the older ones were at school, but it was a rough day. Like at least I didn't have to deal with any code browns, so I'm quite happy about that.
Does code brown sound like it really is like that?
Yeah,
Means the kid just shit somewhere.
Code
on
brown
the
is
floor?
definitely toilet related, let me tell you.
Oh.
And there's nothing worse than a code brown in a public toilet, I can tell you.
No, there's
Oh.
nothing worse than
That
female
really-
bathrooms at nightclubs.
That
Exactly.
really happens. There is a code
Females are
brown.
really bad.
Women are nasty in bathrooms. I don't know what the fuck y'all do in bathrooms, but women are
I
so nasty
know.
in public
Oh.
bathrooms.
You
They
don't
are.
want to see what their house looks like. I
No, I you know what? I don't even think that their
Jesus.
houses look like that. I just think that when women go out, and especially when they go to nightclubs and they get drunk, they talk about men with no aim. Women cannot fucking aim when they're drunk. I don't understand how you can't aim when you're sitting on the fucking toilet. It doesn't make sense. But
Well,
Oh.
because we sit, sometimes if there's a gastric disturbance and I have a not my,
Gastric
but I know a gastric disturbance, and you're hiking up your skirt and pulling down your drawers, and before you sit down, everything lets go, and then there goes the wall behind you.
Lord of
That's
mercy.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard stories about that.
She said she heard. Yeah, sure, you heard stories.
Stories. Yeah. A friend told me. Yeah, I'm telling
A
this.
friend.
Yeah, might have been,
Jeez.
or it
Was-
could have been third
Was
hand.
that friend just what you saw in the mirror when you opened the cubicle door? Was it just
Spooky.
you?
Oh, fuck you, darling. You're accusing me.
I'm sorry.
What's
No.
been happening? I've missed everything, guys.
Oh, so this happened, and then what else will all happen, and something else happened, and then that happened, and so yeah, all this
Oh
stuff
my
has just been happening.
God.
Yeah, and
It's
here we are to
been-
talk about it after all that. It was quite a process, Bee Gees. You missed every damn thing, honey.
Damn it.
And BG's, I'm in my other universe. That's why if you look at see how the recording, like what on my camera, everything's kind of fuzzy. It's
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I'm in the other universe. I had to go to the other universe to be able to broadcast now.
I
Did you
did
get any
not
galactic
want to-
briefings from anyone? Or
No, I'm not wearing any briefs. I'm wearing boxes.
Oh, brum, bum. Yeah, I didn't want to mention that annoying effect you have going on there, but now since you've brought it up, that's really annoying, Jake.
Sorry. Yeah, it's because it's hard to get the signal through universes. Come on. Have you ever tried to fucking bounce a signal off the satellites to different universes? It's not easy.
Oh,
it's
geez.
kind of mesmerizing. It's kind of like
Exactly.
throbbing behind you, you know. Like,
Kind
Hello?
of
Oh,
paranormal.
wait.
Well,
whoa.
look, see,
Well,
that's
now,
gonna
now you see I'm a robot too. See, now you know I'm a cyborg.
just looking at that is gonna give me a stroke. You're gonna be responsible.
I'm
Jiggy.
cyborg. No strokes. for
Jiggy
you.
bot activated.
That's right. See,
I do like that graphic behind you, though.
what the moon?
Yeah, well, it says paranormal. Yeah,
Says does it? Or maybe
It
it's the same
says
thing.
doesn't it say paranormal?
That means
Paranorma.
if you see that, that means that you're not a
Paranorma.
human being.
It's definitely
Cool.
says paranormal.
Yeah, it says
Paranorma.
paranormal because it's cut off the way
No,
the thing is cut off.
I'm reading paranorma.
No, it's paranormal.
I'm
The
pretty
L's-
sure you're.
the
Are
L's
you
back
in the
there
land
somewhere.
of paranorma?
Yes,
That's
yeah.
where you are. The land of
Mm.
paranorma.
I'm on a planet called Paranorma.
Paranorma. And the citizens are called paranormians.
Exactly. No, they're paranormals.
No, they're not. You keep trying to sneak that L in there. You can't
Uh-huh.
slip that by us. They're paranormians.
Trying to figure out where I am. No one can know. Nobody can.
Well, we already do.
Nuh-uh. Bee Gees, tell us where you
Yeah,
really
no.
are, because we know that Australia doesn't really exist. So where are you really? You can tell us.
I,
Come on.
I am definitely. I don't know how many hours ahead I am from you guys, but I'm definitely in the 4th of February. I know that.
Okay, so how
I
is
don't know
So am
tomorrow?
I.
How's tomorrow
Tomorrow-
so far, you guys?
Tomorrow's
How's
all right. Tomorrow's
Let me look out the
okay.
window. It's wow, it's foggy outside. It's 7 a.m. here.
Is it really?
Yeah.
so okay?
Wow, what
So
time is it over
you're
there for you guys?
It is almost 2:00 in the morning right now.
What the
Wow.
hell are you doing up that late?
okay. Here it's
Sorry, Mom.
here it's 4 minutes until 11 p.m.
Oh wow.
Mhm.
Okay, so we got east and west.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's on the
Yeah.
opposite coast of me.
Yeah.
I'm in the middle of GMT, so I'm the glue holding it all together.
Are you guys still in lockdown, Spooky, or what?
I think so. I don't leave my house anyway, so
Yeah.
no difference to me. But yeah, I think we are for like another couple of weeks.
They've locked down a state over here, Western Australia, where Dex is at for 5 days because they've had one COVID positive
Right, I
COVID
heard about
test.
I think
Yeah.
Daniel too. I think Daniel. He's in the chat. I believe Daniel was
He's in Victoria, so I think he moved into country Victoria, but they've just had a case today as well. A lot of seems to be transmission from the hotel quarantine. So, because
No, it's Daniel. Daniel's over there doing something. Hmm
probably.
Can't trust him. Can't trust him. It's all Daniel. Blame Daniel. Explain the
Yeah, it's
context.
quite crazy here because we haven't really had an outbreak that I would class as an outbreak, but our reaction is very severe and fast. So, yeah,
Boy.
it's
How's the
weird.
public sentiment about it?
Excuse me.
Mm.
Boy, here where I am, I'm on the left coast. I'm here in Los Angeles in the US. And
Yeah.
right now, okay, currently everything keeps changing. It changes almost like every other day. The restrictions, okay, they're opening more restrictions. Okay, we're going to restrict that. Now it's just keeping people in a state of confusion right now.
Mm.
Of course, we have to wear masks. But now outdoor dining has opened up. You can go and but boy, it feels like being in a goddamn prison camp. Okay, I don't mean to make mock of that, but I'm a wimpy, privileged white woman who lives in Los Angeles, but it seems so damned regimented and nothing's casual anymore. Nothing's like it was, but
No.
boy,
Not
people
even sex.
hello. Anyway, it's not like it was, but people are going apeshit about this. Oh my God, we can go out and do outdoor distance dining.
But you can't watch TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I know all the restaurants cannot have any televisions on.
That's why
Even
you
if
just
though
take your
there's
iPad.
outdoor dining. Yeah. They don't want people to linger. They want you in and out. Boom, boom, boom. Yep.
And the service sucks.
Yeah.
I'm
I don't
sure.
know.
And the food, because it's, the food doesn't come out to your table quite as hot as it would normally if you were sitting in a dining room. There's all the stuff we were given up, but man, it seems like a blessing from the heavens to be able to, my neighborhood is talking about, people are making dates, all the old people around me, they're making dates to go out and have outdoor dining, socially distanced.
It's certainly changed the world, hasn't it? It's crazy.
And forever, it's going to be different forever. Man, what a grand master plan this all has been. I don't want to sound like a tinfoil hat or anything, but
Well, no,
boy,
it's
look at
interesting
the
because
global transformation. Look at it. Even more widespread, the Spanish flu. I think that I'm sure they use that as their model, whoever they are. Yeah, but it's been a global difference made that's not going to change back.
No, I don't think it is going to go back. I think it's kind of sad in a way that these young kids that are growing up don't really remember anything but their mum or parents or anyone just like wearing masks all the time. And what's that going to do to those kids? Because they're going to be like not allowed to do anything. Like it's weird.
Boy,
Aloha.
the biggest societal change ever
Daniel's
in the history
here.
of the world. Daniel James. Daniel, have we met?
It's actually me, Stephen Cambion.
you're not angry enough. I don't believe it. You have to be angrier. Once more with
You
feeling.
need to let your hair down.
Where is Cambion? He hasn't even been on for a couple of days. Is he all right?
Probably
Yeah, I think
finishing up
I
his.
spoke to him earlier. I think he's
Now you
doing
can
some
be.
stuff with his Roswell series he's working on. So
Oh, okay, got you. But I know he said he was going to start doing like an everyday show. But so I worry when people disappear. I figured maybe they got to him. Maybe
no,
the
he's
alliance.
working on. He's got a few cool things in the pipeline.
No, I think what happened was I think his name was on that list, and then he's part of the mass arrest, and that they went and scooped him up, and he's
Oh,
in Guantanamo
shit.
Bay right now. And yeah, you know what's going to happen. They got him. They got him.
Jeez.
Oh my God! See, they got Daniel too
We
now.
got him.
see?
Wow, he went yellow for a second.
I know they're messing with his screen. See, you start talking about him, they show up.
I don't even know where the screen is. I think I've lost the tab.
Okay, can I tell you something, you all? Do you know how cool this is right now, though? So I'm in Boston, so I'm on the East Coast. Robin's on the West Coast. Spooky's in England, right? You're in England, right? I want to make sure I get this right.
Yeah,
I
I'm
have
in
a problem. I have a problem with the English and the Welsh. I get all this shit mixed up, and I get yelled at by people. And then I have two folks in Australia. Like, how fucking cool is this?
Isn't this cool?
And it's
We live in a crazy world.
It's
We
not a
do.
real world, you all. Just so you know, again, I'm going back to 2006, and when I wake up from my coma, I'm blowing all this shit. I'm going to change it all. It's going to be different.
Yeah,
So
this
Daniel,
is-
they had another COVID thing in Vic today. Like, does that affect you in any way?
Yeah, I guess so. Did they have another case today? Did they? I've been out of
I
action
think
for most
so.
of the day.
Yeah, yeah.
As you can
They've I think it was
probably tell
a
by the
hotel
shades.
transmission. Been drinking.
Yeah, I've had a few.
Isn't it morning?
Good on
Wait,
you.
isn't it morning there? And he's like, yeah, fuck it. It's breakfast. The breakfast of
That's right.
champions.
Yeah, I'm at 5:40 in the evening here.
Yeah, 6 p.m. here.
Oh, wow, damn.
It's just right on time.
yeah, it's already tomorrow for
Yeah,
them.
it's like tomorrow night. In
It's the
about 2
future.
hours, you'll be listening to Paranormal Hood.
It is the future, isn't it? Shit.
It really is. But you guys, in regard to the lockdowns and stuff, you get different numbers every day. And okay, this many have been reported. I've noticed, and I've talked about this before, I've noticed that sources aren't quoted anymore, from actual entities that are reporting their numbers. All that is being in the news now is just the numbers of cases, of deaths, of caused by, living with, died with, all the kind of clever language. But we don't have any sources anymore. I feel really manipulated because all they have to do now, because it's all it's taking, it is just, okay, here are the numbers for today. It's like the stock market with no details.
Mhm.
The details have vanished.
Maybe Reddit is running it just like it's running the stock market, pretty much. That's what's going on.
Classified.
Reddit
Yeah,
uses it.
we don't talk about that. It's classified.
C16 classified. Shh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What
well,
it is.
Robin, I don't think we've met before, but yeah, hi, my name's Daniel. I cannot confirm or deny that I live in Australia, which is a fake country.
He does it. Flat Earthers say it's not right there.
I cannot confirm or deny that.
He's
I
an
work
actor.
the
He's in
banking
Southern
sphere as
California
well.
right
This
now.
movie has great actors tonight. Love it.
Absolutely. England doesn't exist either. None of that stuff. Europe's not there. None of it. Only place that exists is America. That's it. All you all are fake.
My picture was generated by AI.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and Daniel, pleased to meet you. As long as you're no friend of my enemy, we're good.
Who's your enemy?
What enemy?
Bum,
They
bum,
don't
bum.
know. It's okay.
Hello, we're waiting in bated breath. Say it. Say it.
Say it. Say it.
Spit
I'll
it.
say it once.
Baz.
Oh,
Oh, I
Baz
don't know what's
Luhrmann.
going on with that.
there's all these
don't know what's
people who don't
happening.
like each other, and each other don't, and none of them like me anyway, so it doesn't matter. It's like none of these people.
I
Are,
haven't seen
No,
Baz
I-
for ages, man. Like, not ages.
the good
I'm
thing
not-
about it is very few people like me, so it works out perfectly. So it's like
Oh,
I like you,
Jiggy.
Jiggy. I like
Yeah,
you.
Yeah.
we're here. We like
You're a
you.
good guy.
Yeah,
Yes.
and then my crack was sort of a joke. That's old history, and it's but there was a flap for a while. So, but never mind, Daniel. I am pleased to meet you.
I always miss
Likewise.
your shows, Robin.
I'm sorry, what, Bee Gees?
Sorry, darling. I just interrupted Daniel.
No, all good. I got to go actually, but I just wanted to pop in and say hi.
well, thank you for popping in, saying hi.
Hey.
Enjoy Southern California where you really are, because I know Australia doesn't really exist. You're really in Southern California. So
No, he works for To the Stars Academy. He's actually in San Diego.
oh, there you go.
Yeah, yeah.
TTS way.
Me and
TTS
Lou.
way.
Yes, swear.
All right.
Yeah,
see you.
and Daniel, don't forget to meet me at the Roosevelt at the bar. We'll do safe distancing.
I like the way you think.
Okay, see you.
Later, Dan.
Let me plug
See you,
my
Daniel.
computer in before the whole show ends.
Yeah, Robin, I always miss your show because it's on like 3:30 in the morning for me.
Well, now we have a show that no one has to miss because we never know when it's going to be on. It may just be on and you'll be like, oh shit, I'm on. Send me a
That
link.
is the mystery
That's how my
of the
channel
Jiggy
works.
Show.
I don't have a schedule.
Yeah, I
Exactly.
miss yours too, Spooky, because I'm like, oh, he's playing. You must be playing live games and then like talking at the same time. Is that correct?
Yeah, I tend to do more gaming stuff than anything else, but I just got a new microphone, so I can like start making content if I wanted to.
Oh, cool.
I can
Yeah,
never go back to gaming ever.
I love gaming. It's my thing.
I did too. That was my
Aw.
shit, but I got lost in it. Like if you could go back and look at my Xbox account and see how many hours I have on
I
Gears
know.
of War and Call of Duty, especially.
Yeah.
Oh my lord! I was recovering from brain surgery, so I was
Yeah.
home, and then I had all these surgeries. I've had a dozen surgeries since 2003, so I've spent a lot of time at home recovering. So I was playing fucking video games, and I was the leader of a clan, and I just got lost in that shit.
Yeah.
Oh,
And you can easily do it. You lose 8 hours. You look down at the time, and then you look up, and you're like, "Shit, the day's gone." Like, what was
Shit,
I
I
doing?
did a 6-hour stream yesterday, and I've done 24 hours, 48 hours of gaming before, like directly.
whoa!
Yeah.
I've heard stories like that. Oh, you guys.
I used to spend 12 hours on World of Warcraft. Like I can't do it anymore. But my teenage years were just wasted on 4chan and video games.
Yeah,
Oh,
I used to play a
wow.
game called Shire, which was an online game similar to World of Warcraft. There goes my dog. Sorry.
What kind of puppy is that?
Cool.
He's a big boy.
A big,
He's a,
yeah, it's
Oh, a big boy.
a Kita. Hey, enough.
Oh, how beautiful!
Sorry.
Those
Yeah.
are pretty dogs.
He got a
That-
big boy voice too.
Yeah, he's a really protective dog. So
Cool.
that was just somebody walking past my house that I was not allowed to by his standards. So
I totally
Oi.
get it.
Oh, good for you. Oh, let him bark. He's
Do
doing
your
his
job. That's right. He's being the man.
yeah, he's my
being in his
protector.
business.
He's my protector.
You stop
What's
walking.
his
there.
name?
Noriyuki,
Nariyuki?
but I call him
Noriyuki.
Nori-chan.
Does that mean something? Is that like from like?
That was one of my favorite motorbike riders, Noriyuki Haga, like a Japanese motorbike rider in the MotoGPs.
Gotcha.
And all my Akitas had like Japanese names. So I've had Kobe and Kira, and now I've got Nori-chan. Noriyuki sounds really wanky, so I just call him Nori-chan.
It actually sounds cool as shit.
Or the Chan.
Uh-oh, I'm coughing. Sorry.
That's all
Yeah,
right.
we know what you're doing.
Yeah, it's my allergies.
Don't
I
talk
got
to me
him
about
too.
allergies. Christ.
Excuse me. Okay,
These allergies are horrible.
so Spooky, dear, you know what? I know
That's me.
I get the notifications when you're on, and I stop over there and I give you a thumbs up, but
Thank you.
then I'm out of there because I'm not a gamer.
I'm just not interesting enough.
Well, you play games. You do those game things.
Well, it's
And
'cause
there are-
my
and-
more topical shows, they're always like probably
I don't know
about
anything
Roy Good or something, and they get loads and loads of views. But then the rest of them, it's just like people come in, people go, and it's like I'm playing video games anyway, so I figure at the same time, if people want to come in and talk to me, they can.
See, I don't understand what you're doing when you're doing that. So
Okay.
it's just not a big grab for old people. I got to be honest with you.
Oh, you stop calling yourself old. You're seasoned.
Age is just a number.
Oh, don't fucking patronize me. Don't.
I'm
be-
not patronizing you. I'm just saying it is what it is. Like you're a seasoned vet. That's all. Everybody's going to get there, or maybe not get there. You're lucky too. I may not get there. None of us may get there. So you're already someplace. You've achieved something we may never achieve. Just
Well, I
saying.
call that being old, sweetheart.
Let's call it life.
What's with
You're gonna keep going, aren't you?
Yep. I will. Yes, I will.
Jiggy, what's with you pissing on people? I've been seeing some shit
I
on
don't-
and I'm
listen,
Like,
I don't
what
know what
the
it
hell
is.
going on?
I just this chick just all this. Hold on. I wish Daniel was still here because originally she thought it was Daniel in her dream, but then it turned out I was the big ape that came in and peed in her backpack.
Whose dream?
What?
It's that the Ari Stone chick. Like
Oh,
yeah.
oh my god!
The only reply I had to her was, "I dreamt of a taco once."
Yes. she doesn't. Yeah. And then
Oh, that's awesome.
to her she says it's not sexual. I don't know. But like it's just it wasn't sexual. You were just being mean in your dream. So in your dream.
you peed on her in her dream.
Well, she said it's something to do with peeing in a backpack, but I don't know
So
if she was
how would-
wearing the backpack, if she was holding the backpack. I don't know if the backpack was on her head. I don't know, but just I peed in the
It
backpack.
sounds like she
apparently.
writes it while she's still dreaming. It's like an abstract version of someone describing something.
Oh,
But somehow the thought occurred to do the disclaimer of, oh, it's not sexual. That's kind of creepy.
Well, because I said to her, well, I did a whole, she said she didn't listen to the show, but we basically did a whole show about it last week. And it was just like all this stuff. Like I went and looked up, dreams, and I read it on air, and everything about those type of dreams point to the person who's having the dreams, not the person you're claiming is the aggressor. Like you're claiming that I'm an aggressive person.
It's all subconscious.
Right, I'm mean and I'm all this type of stuff. You don't know me, but yet you're having a dream and I'm the mean person in your dream. Okay. But then she says that she has all these dreams and she writes them down. So she'll go back to look at them. Oh, so on December 21st, I dreamed about you, but I happen to remember that I dreamed about you on December 21st. Like,
Some
okay.
weird shit.
So is
That's
this
overly
someone
specific.
is this person very young?
I don't know how old she is.
No,
She doesn't
she's
seem
like-
young to me.
I think she's in her 40s.
Are you
I have her on
serious?
Facebook.
So doing
So
all
she has like a from what I could gather, like a teenage to mid 20s-year-old daughter. So
and yet she has the time to record dreams and stuff. Boy,
Fuck, I couldn't
people
do
have
that.
time
I
for
don't have
everything,
time.
man.
her life isn't real busy. I
Well, Robin, she's part of the Corey Good lawsuits. Like she was suing him, he was suing her. She's another one of those people who just are playing from that playbook. Like she's taking a page from that playbook. She wanted to be down with them. She wanted to be down with the Corey Good team. She was sending him her dreams, and supposedly he stole her artwork and stole some of her dreams and her ideas and all this type of stuff. But in essence,
he
and she
did
was
kind of
having
steal her
sexual
artwork.
dreams. Like she was having sexual dreams about him and David Wilcox and all this type of stuff.
Ooh.
So in essence, what it is he rejected her, and he just either stole her shit and just outright didn't have anything to do with her, or just didn't communicate the way she didn't like it and didn't get the response that she wants, and she was suing people and shit.
Sick.
Boy,
She was the
just-
first one to sue Corey.
Yeah, she sued him first, I believe. Right, she started the whole ball rolling.
Yeah, because he stole content from her dream journals that she shared with him in Cosmic Disclosure, and then allegedly stole her artwork for the Dimensions of Disclosure T-shirt. Which, to be fair, it did look like he stole that artwork. It was like identical, and I was like, okay, all right. Yeah.
Boy,
I'm not
just-
big on the dream stuff, but like, that's a
But
palpable thing.
here's
I
the
can look
thing
at.
too, though. Like I don't not knowing the whole case, but the way she presents it is that she was sending this shit to him and stuff like that too. So like, why are you sending this dude your work that's supposed to be so precious and stuff to you, and he's going to steal it? That's what people do on the fuck. That's what the music industry is based off of. That's what movies are based off. They steal people's shit.
Yeah.
So why are you sending anybody your
It's
shit?
that naive thing of like, when you send a screenplay into Hollywood and you think that you then have ownership over the screenplay, when no, unless you've copyrighted it, you don't.
unless you
So-
circle see it and have a disclaimer. Absolutely.
So she's it's kind of like someone taking their demo tape to someone who's famous, thinking that they're going to get famous, and that person just taking the demo tape. Like
They
it's
just
just
take your shit and jacket.
yeah.
Yeah, there's no excuse for not being educated about this shit either. Even the artwork that I've commissioned, for our banner and stuff on my little channel. I told that kid, I said, you need to watermark that stuff, because he was showing on his Twitter the artwork he did for us, and it's really, really good. And people could make a JPEG of that and make it their own. So I told him he needed to watermark it. So these people who are in the big time, not just a little tiny
Should know better.
kid in Philadelphia, they should know better. Learn all the outer aspects of your craft.
But at the
Sometimes I
same-
wonder
at the
if they
same
intentionally
time-
do it badly.
But then it's not even intentional. These people are so into they're set. Just go on Twitter and type and go look at a Corey Good thread. Go look at a David Wilcox thread. How many
Sure.
people are in these threads saying, "Oh, I emailed you, I DM'd you, this idea or this dream I had or this stuff, and you can help me put it together." Like you're literally giving these people more stuff to work with, and that's what they do. They plagiarize it and they jack it and they make it their own, and that's what they're known for. Nothing that they say is really original thought. It's just regurgitated bullshit the way they spin it in their word salad.
Yeah, and then getting their supply from other people.
That's the easiest way to do it.
Boy,
because they're not creative enough. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's interesting. It's just made me think of when Corey Good legit asked me to put one of my experiences on camera for him. I said no, but like thinking about it now, that's just him farming content. He probably was never going to use it, but he wanted to have a copy of it to then take parts of it
Yeah,
to
use
put in
it.
his narrative. Yeah.
That's how
Totally.
it works. And then they'll just say, well, you gave it to me. You went on camera. You did this stuff. You know, you don't have any
Right.
entitlement to it. That's how they get a lot of this stuff. Go to a conference and stuff and just watch them in little circles and how they work and who they're talking to. And people are filming and doing all this stuff. And they're filming and they're doing shit as well. They
I was
want
about
to
to
capture
say they're
stuff.
probably recording the whole thing.
Of course they are.
Boy, that's sort of vampirical. You know, it's kind of like leeching people's stuff.
But isn't that what this really is if it really comes down to it? I mean, if you really look at, let's take ufology, okay? Until technology changed, UFOs always kind of looked the same. Everybody was posting the same kind of pictures, these disc crazy looking things that all were flying in the air. They didn't look technologically advanced. They didn't look like anything special. They just looked like discs in the air. So everyone all of a sudden is stealing that. Now the idea is that these UFOs have crazy technology that's way beyond ours. So everybody just leeches off of that, or Bigfoot, or any other idea that's out there. It's kind of, once the idea is out there, everybody kind of leeches off of it and it has their own story about it. That's what most of what ufology, cryptozoology, the paranormal, the ghost experience all are, is people just saying the same shit. They investigate the same stuff and they basically just circle jerk each other and come up with the same conclusion. And I always
Well
pick on the
put.
Lizzie. I pick on the Lizzie Borden house only because it's something that's here in my state and people always make reference to it when it comes to ghosts. Okay, so the average person goes to the Lizzie Borden's house, and if you ask them if they're any kind of psychic or any kind of ghost, they're going to tell you that they communicated with Lizzie Borden. Did you?
Of
Did you
course.
really? You know, like, did you really? Did Lizzie really communicate with you? Did Lizzie really tell you something that she hasn't told anybody else? Did she say, what is it? Was it 40 whacks or whatever? No, was it really 57 whacks? Is that really what happened? Did she even whack them? Did she really stab them? Like, have they been lying about the crime scene? Come on, Lizzie, like, speak to me. Everybody talks to Lizzie Borden. Okay. If I was Lizzie Borden, first of all, as ghost at this point, I would have left. That ghost is probably tired of anybody going to that fucking house. Lizzie Borden is tired.
How long ago was that? That was
Yeah.
like in the 1800s, wasn't it?
Maybe the early 1900s, late 1800s. something
Yeah,
like that.
been there, done that. Yeah, it was a really, really huge story. And then there, people embroidered, but now, yeah, people are doing. Isn't that so? That is so funny. They're
All right. Here's a
Wow.
little inside information. How many of you guys have seen the movie The Conjuring?
Yeah, no, I haven't seen it.
No.
of what refresh me.
It's
Sounds
a
familiar.
movie about a farmhouse in Rhode Island and this family that lives there, and it's the father and the mother and a bunch of daughters who live there, and they're tormented by demons. And the great demonologist, I'm high. What the fuck? Ed and Lorraine Warren went there and investigated it, and they've made movies out of Ed and Lorraine Warren stuff. All right, now I've hung out with the daughters, a couple of the daughters. I know the father, the parent, the family, the actual family who all this stuff is based off of.
Yeah.
And the daughter has gone from the whole ghost thing to now she sees UFOs, that she can call UFOs and the aliens show up and appear, and she leads groups of people doing this stuff. And I'm not shitting on her because I love Andrea. She's a great person. But like the
Yeah.
evolution of how
Yeah.
you went from this, ghost farmhouse where there was these demons to now you communicate with aliens and you can call them and the UFOs show up. And these groups of people are with her watching this and having the same experience. I'm like, okay. I guess.
Well, confirmation bias. But how delightful. I'm sure they're having a good time.
I listen, I guess. It's people constantly need to evolve in this. Like, and that's the thing. If you're truly here for one thing, or why do you have to believe in all of it? Why do you have to take all of it on and all of a sudden become an expert in all of it? I just don't get that. I'm
And
an
isn't-
expert at nothing. I'm an expert at nothing when it comes to this paranormal shit. I'm an expert at experiences, the experiences that I continually have, but it has nothing to do with expert at anything that I am as an investigator or anything, and none of any of these people either.
No, I agree. I remember when you were talking about when you were growing up, when you were a kid, in in one of the houses that you were living in, and you had those haunted experiences down in the basement and that. Like, I've had experiences here, but like, it's my experience. I'd say I am a believer because I've seen stuff that I can't explain, but I can't prove that to anybody. Do you know what I mean?
If you could, we would. If you
Hell
could prove
yeah.
it to everybody, it would be out there. Like nothing
it.
that's out
Yeah.
there is proof. There's you go through 100 ghost shows, you go through any of the footage I have, anything that anybody's put out there. There's nothing that is 100% proof that anything exists. And I'm not saying it doesn't exist. There's just not real, tangible proof that's out there that's been proven over and over again where it is or what it is. And none of these places.
True.
Yeah, and experiences have been had. So, yeah.
Sorry, I'm just taking a taste of my dog while I'm doing this.
I'm
Yeah.
just coughing.
And we'll all take a moment to cough.
Yes.
Oh,
Cough even if you're not smoking.
yeah,
Cough if you're in the chat. The three
it's
people
okay.
watching.
It's okay if you're being a faker. Looking at you.
Have we got
DD.
live chat as well? Because I noticed there was live chat, but I haven't paid any attention to it.
Yeah, that's because most of the people in the live chat just bring them in here anyways. It's like it just makes more sense
Oh,
to
cool.
talk. It's harder to watch. Like people ask questions, but I feel like if you're gonna ask questions in live chat and you have the ability to just be
Just
here and
come.
talk,
Yeah,
why not
that's
come
it.
and talk? That's how it used to be. We used to do Paranormal Hood. We used to have a call-in line where people could just call in.
I
and
know.
talk and
I
stuff.
watched an old one the other night, and I was like, "Oh my god, they had a phone-in line. That's so cool."
Yeah, all that stuff is on Blog Talk. There's actually some really cool old interviews with different people, and just I'd like to go through it one day and pick clips and categorize some of the stuff because there's some insane call-ins that we had of people who claim some of the most insane shit. Like it was just
Yeah.
we got punked by the Howard Stern show a couple of times, everything. So there's some really cool stuff in the archives.
How cool is that?
And the funny thing, if you go back and listen to it, they used what's the guy's name from Maroon 5, the lead singer, Adam Levine. They actually use his voice to punk our show. It's hilarious. Like so, it's literally
That's amazing.
you're hearing Adam Levine talking to us, but they had just used clips from him being on the show. And he's asking us, he's like, "Yeah, who's your favorite singer? Is it Adam Levine?" And I'm like, that's literally I had just listened to him on Howard Stern like the week before, so I knew exactly what was going on. It was hilarious.
Oh, that's rather epic.
Yeah. It
That's
was
pretty
really
cool.
cool shit. And it was so raw back then too. It was like that was when like a lot of the more of the personal experiences and stuff was shared because we were early into it. And it was when we were still it's not that we're not believers, but we were just still exploring people's bullshit. So a lot of those people, you know, Billy Carson, Ben Hansen, John B. Wells from Coast to Coast. There's a lot of various people who are actually guests on our shows over these years when we were just doing Blog Talk too. So this is like really, really cool archive stuff, but we just weren't doing it on camera. Like, and then all of a sudden people were like, you know, you guys should like, we want to see you guys smoke and we want to see like when the guests are in the studio and stuff. So we started doing all this video shit and everything. And then it also chased some guests away because some people in their professions, you know, they're still not allowed to smoke marijuana. So they could never be on camera smoking marijuana either. So that also started limiting the guests once we started doing live shit.
Crazy.
Well,
You know, hey, listen, I understand. It is what it is. Still a lot of guests who don't mind coming on who smoke weed. Woohoo!
Hell yeah.
I want to get Snoop Dogg on here one day. Talk some ghosts with Snoop Dogg.
That'd be interesting.
you know what? Have you sent him an invite?
Yeah, it's like, yeah, I'll send it to here's Snoop. Yeah, it's Jiggy, and the probably like a million fucking invites in mail, and everybody fucking hits them up.
Well, maybe he doesn't know that you know those other people who are important. Maybe he needs to know that you have connections.
Yeah, I don't have the connections I used to. I don't run in the same circles I used to. I don't do the work that I used to as much either.
Yo, it's still part of your history.
Oh, it's an insane history. Like it's cool, BGs, because I know you. I don't know so much you, Spooky, but I know BGs. Like you love hip hop, like, and you know hip hop.
Absolutely.
And
That's my
like I
jam.
see those pictures, like the pictures you've taken with various people and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Over the years, like
Yeah.
I did security for everybody, especially in the 90s, like when hip hop was like the 90s hip hop and stuff.
Yes. Yeah.
And
yeah.
I mean, you name a lot of those groups who most people don't even know. Like, you know, you talk about Smith and Wesson,
Yeah.
you know, Wu-Tang when they were younger, Run DMC. There's just so many people who I did security for. Fat Joe, Big Pun when he was alive.
Wow.
Here's a
Big
crazy
Pun.
fact that Biggie, we did security for Biggie, but it wasn't for him. It was actually for Craig Mack, because if you remember how Biggie got famous, he got famous because he did the remix of Craig Mack's Flavor in Your Ear. And that's when his
Yep.
verse was so popping, people got to know Biggie. So he
Yeah.
was actually the opening act for Craig Mack, who we were doing security for. It's
Oh
hilarious.
wow! So you would have met him like back in the day, like
I mean,
when he was just coming
everybody.
up.
Everybody. I mean, there's not too many people in hip hop or R&B who I didn't do security for back in the day. Like they would come and do shows in our area, and I had a big security company and a lot of like guys and girls who worked for me. So it was insane. It was really.
Did you do security for R. Kelly?
I didn't do security for him. I know his bodyguard though. His bodyguard is actually one of his bodyguards is from Massachusetts. I know him very well.
Every time I think of R. Kelly, I think of Dave Chappelle when he.
Yeah, well, now you're gonna think about me too. Apparently, I'm pissing on people too. See, there you go. That's what I think it is. I think that she must have like a R. Kelly fetish, whatever. And I'm just a big bald-headed black man, so she just sees me every big bald black man as R. Kelly or whatever. Because she did use the "you people" quote in her fucking her tweet.
People, honestly, that just grinds my gears.
What do you mean, you people?
Grind your gears.
What do you mean, you people? Listen, whatever. The language is hilarious.
Funny. Okay, Jiggy, really
Yes.
quickly, I have to ask. I'm sure it's the wrong age group, but I'm sure my children would want me to ask you, did you ever meet Duran Duran?
No. So when it came to more
you're too young.
No, I'm not too young. It's not that. Like this because I mean concerts. I've done them thousands of concerts, hundreds, maybe in the low
genre.
thousands, but not even because I've done security. I got to remember the kid's name. I've done security for people you wouldn't think. I've done security for the Village People. I've done security for Gavin DeGraw. So there's random things in there of people I've done security for and provided security for, but it was few and far between because I was just so plugged into at the time like hip hop and R&B, and most of the promoters I knew and stuff, were all into that stuff. So there's a lot of the concerts and then I would end up doing tour work with some people and stuff too.
Wow.
So,
did you get to listen to the music, or were you out
that's the best thing of it though. Think of it. So every night when you're doing these concerts, you're hearing this stuff live. You're not, I'm hearing, I worked clubs for years too. So I was a bouncer and stuff for years and provided security for clubs. So I also heard, the records and stuff being played, but there's nothing like hearing this stuff live, like hearing R&B live, like Mad Lion. I don't know if you know remember who Mad Lion was, like this, like when people like that who had like these incredible voices and they would live, and I'm sitting there, out there doing security and stuff like that, listening to them perform live. It was the coolest thing ever.
In a crowd who makes their income, they pay for the tickets.
Yeah.
So you're there doing your job, and you didn't have to buy a ticket.
No, that's exactly.
And you'd have that good vibe, that good energy, because everyone would be loving it,
and the experiences from it were incredible. I mean, I've got to travel different places, different countries and stuff with people, and do different things.
Who'd you travel with?
Mostly like reggae, a lot of reggae artists. So like a Beanie Man, Tonto Metro Devante.
My heart.
I'm sorry.
Reggae. My heart, reggae.
Yeah, but more like new school dance hall reggae. Like, I mean, I've done what is his name? Like different people. Shit, I can't even remember all of them. But I mean, Jesus Christ, come on, brain. I can see their faces, but it's just hard to remember all the names. But I mean, I've done so much over the years. But when I traveled, it was mostly with the younger reggae artists, like the hip hop kind of reggae when it was really popular in the early 2000s.
But does it still have that same reggae tempo? That kind of stuff, or have
I mean it does, but it's more of a clubby vibe. Like that music is more like, it's not, like when you talk about old school reggae, like roots and stuff like that, that's more of the chill vibe, where the what do you call it, dance hall and stuff became more club music. It was more taking the reggae and putting hip hop beats and Latin beats and different kind of like ethnic beats and stuff, Afrocentric beats to it, and making it very clubby so you could dance to it and move your body and really get a different vibe, especially if you were smoking marijuana. It's a whole different vibe when you're dancing in the club to this music.
So do you carry like a firearm when you're...
Yes,
because
ma'am.
like, we don't have guns over here, man. So it's just like weird to even think people have, like even our security guards don't carry guns. So
yeah, no, definitely, absolutely.
Well,
yeah,
how did they handle the bad guys?
Yeah, I can't even get over the fact that you could just go to an event and you can carry a gun. Like it
No,
just seems
no, no,
so
no, no, no,
foreign
no,
to
no, no,
me.
no, 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 no.
No.
It doesn't work like that. Like
No.
first, there's places even where I wasn't allowed to carry. So you had to, because I own my company, there was a little bit of different rules that I could play by. But in most cases, like they have to know that you're armed, and not everybody's armed. Your security might be armed and different things. Like,
Yeah.
so one of the best things I ever got to do was here in Boston, we have a place called the Boston Garden. So that's where our Celtics and our Bruins play, and it's a huge arena. And
Yes,
I got
watched the
to.
NBA.
They had a concert there one time, and I had to do security, and I was literally on stage there, like in the middle of this place where I grew up and watched like some of my favorite athletes ever play. And I'm just amazed. And my friends are texting me and hit me on my phone like, "Yo, is that you on stage?" I'm like, "Yeah, this is fucking cool as shit." But so when you had to go in there, we had a police escort there with the group I was doing security for, and they take you up this long ramp, and I go in the back of the garden. So now I'm in a place where not too many people have ever been, in my own truck and stuff. And I had my gun. I had to keep it in my gun safe because they were not letting you in there with a gun. So there's
Wow.
places like that where they're not going to let you do it. But it was like
Is
the
that
time of
because
my
they've
life.
got their own security?
Yeah,
on
and
site as well.
So what happened there is, the group, the Locks.
Nah.
You don't know who the Locks are? Like Jada Kiss.
Oh yeah.
So there was a concert there years ago. They were involved in it. And there's a local group were involved in it. And there was a stabbing that happened. So after that, they ended up locking arenas and stuff down because hip hop, became real violent. There was a lot of violence tied to it. So a lot of these arenas and these places and clubs, everything, stadiums changed the way they were doing security. Like they stepped their security up because there's a lot of violence going on at a lot of these concerts as well. So that's what happened there. Like in places like that, they just changed their security approach.
Hi, Prague.
Boy, hi, Keats over there. Okay,
Hey, Keats.
Jiggy, what stories you have? God, man, I'm smiling at you. It's just you have. Boy, I hope you make this a regular thing because just even to come on, maybe you'll have segments where you just talk about, give your stories out, dude.
There's some cool stories. I mean, there really are. It's weird because it's almost like I look at my life, and because of like the things that have happened to my brain and stuff, it's almost like I'm looking in a highlight reel of a movie. I know it sounds weird. I'm not trying to.
You're lucky to be alive when you think
But it's not even
about
just
those things
it's not
that
even
you've actually been through.
But that's the thing that pales in comparison to the things that I've seen and experienced.
Absolutely.
Some people say that sounds weird, but that's really what it is. Like it pales in comparison to what I've been a part of than what I haven't been.
Yeah, and right now, today, more than ever in your life, you have this. It's like you've pulled back from it all, and you have this like overview.
Yeah.
Now,
like the
at
insight.
this stage, in your life, you have like different eyes now, and it's like you're viewing it.
Don't say
Does
that.
that make sense?
I know, but somebody got my eyes. I have different eyes.
I'm
According to my sister, I'm a different Jiggy. I'm not the same Jiggy before my brain surgery and dying and all that shit. Like she says, I'm not me. I'm the different
Wow.
Jiggy.
well.
What did she say that's different?
The way I speak, there's certain things in my memory that don't add up. There's things that I don't remember at all that I should, I guess, but I just have no memory of them.
Yeah.
And just a lot of different things. I know that they talk about the Mandela effect, but there's just certain things that just I know were absolutely different.
In your case. Yeah. So would it be considered a traumatic brain injury category, sort of the way it presents? Is that comparable at all?
I'm sorry, could you ask that question one more time?
Could it be compared perhaps to like the traumatic brain injury category? That affect what you're describing sounds like that, because like with the TBI people, I've heard this sort of description from like people around them and family members. But you know what? So I know you, Jiggy, on this side of it, and I like you. I think you're brilliant for one thing, and I think you're a good man. So I don't know how you were.
I'm all right. I'm all right. I'm the only difference between people would attribute the difference in me to brain surgery and all that type of stuff and those experiences, but I think a lot of it's just age. To be honest with you, Robin, I think
That
it's just
too.
it's you gain a wisdom. If you're getting
Wisdom.
older and you're not
Almost
getting
said it.
smarter, if you're getting older,
Wisdom.
you're not getting smarter, right? Then something's wrong with you. Like you just
Yes.
can't continue to be the same person. I can't be, 30-year-old Jiggy. I'll never be 30-year-old Jiggy. I'll never be 40-year-old Jiggy again. I'll never be who I was before I got shot. I'll never be who I was before brain surgery. I'll never be who I was before the last surgeries and stuff. So,
When did you start your business? How old were you?
oh God, I was 22, 23 years old.
Wow.
And it was all by accident. Like there was no rhyme or reason. Okay, so I'm not a high school
So
graduate.
that was like deep into like the early, like late 80s, early 90s?
Yes. So
Yeah.
I started out as a rapper, singer, dancer, like hip hop dancer, all
Spit
this
some
type
bars,
of shit.
we want to hear it. Spit it.
From
What'd you
the
say?
Come on.
Oh
Spit some
God,
bars,
I wouldn't
let's do
even
it.
know what the
Come
spit
on.
bars about. It's been a long time. I'd have to think about that. I can spit bars. I would just have to think about it.
So you did not finish high school and you
No.
went on to work. You did.
I
started
I had
creating.
always worked. I'd always worked. My thing was that though, I'm a street kid. Like I kind of grew up in the streets, not getting gangster shit, nothing like that, but little drug dealing and stupid shit that most kids in my neighborhood were doing at the time. But I
Gritty.
learned where I grew up and how I grew up. I learned a lot from a lot of people. Like I said, I always kept my ear to the ground, but I also listened to people and talked to people and older people and different things. And me in school just didn't click. I did not click very well in school. And
I was stoned
And
pretty
look
much
at
from
look
year
at
8
that.
to year 12 in my school.
Oh, look at that. That is what is wrong globally with the educational system. A very learned, degreed person I spoke to, because I was telling her about, my difficulty in school. And she says, that's what's wrong with all the school systems.
because
When
they're all
you
the
let
same.
a brilliant
It's
kid-
systematic. It's just needs. They
They're
need to
all the
refresh it.
same. Exactly. It's all the same shit. Everybody isn't thinking the same things. I mean, I know that the outcome in a sense is supposed to be the same, that you should know. And I know basic math. I know English. I know basic science. I know history. I know probably history more than anything. But there were just certain things. I got to a point in high school where I remember a teacher saying to me when I
Later,
would go
Daniel.
to math class, and she literally would just say, okay, enjoy your nap, Mr. Webb. Because she knew I was going to go to sleep in math class. So it wasn't even that she worked to try to figure out how to engage me or to figure out what I could do to make math enjoyable or just want to be learnable. No, her idea was to just say, go ahead and take a nap because I know that's what you're going to do. So
Yeah.
already at that point, I'm in high school. I'm in my sophomore year of high school. You have shut down any idea to me that I have anything to learn from you people.
Yeah.
You have nothing left to
100%,
teach me.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, and you're not making it interesting enough to captivate me so that I want to know more.
Right. And everything I was doing outside of that, rapping and dancing and whatever stuff was just much more captivating. And the shit that I learned in the streets, learning business through selling drugs and little things like that was much
So-
more
So
captivating. I've learned the
what
system.
made you decide I'm going to start a security business? Like, what was it? Like, was it the friends that you're rapping and whatever? And
Nah, I had always kind of did security stuff. Like I started with my older brothers and my cousins because there's a skating rink in Boston called Chez Vu where we all used to hang out and stuff like that. That's where I saw the first person I've ever seen murdered.
Oh,
But
wow.
so I started doing security there. It was kind of in my blood. My uncle was a huge there was a guy, Alan Amen Entertainment, who in this area was a huge black promoter and promoted most of the like Eddie Murphy and all this type of stuff. This guy was doing the tours with Eddie Murphy, all kinds of hip hop artists in the beginning, like mostly R&B and stuff. So I ended up doing little security stuff with him, and it was kind of in my blood. And then it got to a point where I was just doing security, and people would ask me, like, you're really good at what you do. Do you have any guys? Like, do you know any guys who are like your size or kind of have your temperament and attitude? And I just kind of built a business around it, to be honest with you.
You gathered your squad.
Yeah, I've had some cool people in my squad too. Actually, the funny thing is, I don't know if you guys know who Bill Burr is.
Yes.
He's
the
like
comedian.
that
I know
scientist
Bill Burr.
guy, isn't
Well,
he?
he was friends
the
with.
young guy, yeah.
Well, he's not young. No, he's
Well,
definitely
he's
not
like
young.
40. That's
No,
young, isn't
he's
it?
not. Bill should be in his 50s now. He should at least be
Yeah,
50.
he's like-
That's still
He's
young
like-
in my
Has he
book.
got like kind of orange hair?
Well, yeah, he's a ginger.
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
ginger.
But he hung out with Patrice O'Neill, who's another comedian. And Patrice actually worked for me. He was one of the my very first crew of people. Patrice was actually one of the people who did a little bit of work for me in my crew, my very first crew.
No longer alive though, hey?
No, he died a few years ago. Funny fucking.
Yeah.
Now here's the thing too. Just
on him.
most people know him as Patrice O'Neill, so nobody knew his real name. We all called him Bruiser because he's he's bigger than me, and you don't call a fucking big bouncer guy like Patrice. Like, that's just not intimidating. So we all knew him as Bruiser until, if you really knew him, you knew his name was Patrice O'Neill. But everybody mostly in the clubs, they knew him as Bruiser because no one knew Patrice. Like, exactly. Like, you walk up to the door like, yo, is Patrice here? Like, you expect to come out. Where you be like, yo, is Bruiser here? And he go, yeah, that's me, motherfucker. Because he was a funny fucking guy. Like, that's. I'll give Patrice credit of learning one thing about being able to do club security was that you didn't always have to be the big tough guy. Like, you killed people with kindness and you killed them with comedy, and that people were much more, you were able to talk people down easy with making them laugh and kind of making fun of the situation than just being a fucking bruiser, than just being the asshole that just snatches you up.
Neanderthal. There's a lot of power in words.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's where it's the most important thing, because you're not bouncers, you're like club psychologists. You're just really talking people down. That's out of all the places I've been in my life, and the time I've spent the most in things was a lot of them was clubs and nightclubs and venues like that. And my whole perspective on those things is completely different in how I see it now. And I get why when I was younger, older folks used to say like nothing good. Some people would say nothing good goes on once the sun goes down. But then some people would say nothing good goes on after 9 o'clock. And then some people would say midnight, whatever. But what I learned is when that sun does go down and how people change, they were absolutely fucking correct. I could not, being who I am now, being at the age I am now, spend my nights working in that environment whatsoever. I could not. I just couldn't. I could do tour work and I could do concerts and stuff like that. I have no problem with that. But being in nightclubs every night and venues where people are pretty much dancing and drinking and just where they're taking their that's just a whole another category that I look at it. But yeah, I couldn't be in that environment now. I just couldn't. I definitely see how I see energy, especially after doing psychedelics and seeing how energy relates to those kind of environments and how it affects the people in those environments.
Boy, and then not to mention, it's sometimes majorly sexually charged, and that really creates aggression.
99.9% of the time, that's exactly what it is. It's so
that's powerful, man. And
here's a great perspective to look at, all right, from someone who spent a long time doing it. Is there's really only a certain kind of people who go to clubs. Now, most people think that they go out to a bar, go out to whatever you do at nightlife. Most people think that they're going out to have a good time, which is absolutely incorrect. They think that, but when most people go out, let's take a Friday night, a typical Friday night in America. Okay, let's say pre-COVID or before the pandemic. Let's just say that it's Friday night. Now, you've worked all week. You're stressed out. Maybe you have kids at home. You have a spouse at home, whatever is stressing you out. And you reach out to your homies, your girls, your boys, whatever. And you say, hey, listen, I need to go the fuck out tonight and have a good time. All right, cool. Let's do it. Everybody gets in the cars or whatever, the Uber, whatever they do. They get to the club. They all think they're going to have a good time. But in essence, most of those people
you're hooking up.
The negative, no, not even the hooking up. They've taken all the negative energy that they've had all week, and it's all inside of them. It's all charged inside of them, and they're going out expecting other people who have the exact same energy to take that energy away and fulfill them.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, that's so true. Man, that is so. Do you know how brilliant that statement was, Jiggy? That is just fucking brilliant.
Someone should clip that.
But that's
Prag in the chat. Keith says Jiggy is a sage. No fucking no. Yes, Jiggy. That was brilliant. I don't know if I'm a sage.
I just know the shit that I've seen, experienced. I know I was a big part of that wave for a long time. And once you see it and see it for what it really is, it makes liquor. They call it spirits and stuff. It's all called that for a reason, because it brings out the spirits in people that some people don't even know exist. And you
Wow.
run the gamut of emotion, especially when liquor's involved, because you start happy, you most likely end up somewhere in the middle, and then you end up sad or whatever, then you end up fucking horny and all that other shit that comes with it.
And then somebody ends up dead.
Or somebody ends up pregnant, or somebody ends up with an STD, or somebody ends up waking up next to somebody like, oh shit, did I just, or next to a couple of people like, oh shit, did we all just, listen, just saying, nothing good goes on because there's really no healing in any of it. You can go to a concert and not have to even drink and just have some really good music. That's healing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That is absolutely healing. The energy, the vibe, everything about that is different. But when
That's
once
what
you
I mean. So when you're doing your security work, that would have just been a dream job. Like,
it was a dream job, but in a sense, it was a nightmare too. Look at all the bad things that have happened to me since that, and you could attribute from the moment that I got shot to everything afterwards, all because of stuff that happened in the club. My aneurysm could be attributed to how many fights that I have in clubs, how many I've been hit with. You know, I've had a tooth knocked out with a champagne bottle. I've been hit with ropes, the rope stanchions they use for clubs and stuff. I've been hit with chairs, bottles, fists, knees, like fucking heads, everything you could think of. I've been hit with all that shit. So there's my aneurysm.
so were you shot on the job?
Well, it was job related.
Boy, Judy, and you're here with us right now, this moment.
Or am I?
To tell this story. Oh yeah, woo woo.
Or am I? Bum bum bum.
Jiggy is actually an AI.
He's in Paranorma, remember?
Oh right.
Paranormal.
God, thank you for the reminder of where we really are.
I'm sorry, you guys are all just a figment of my imagination, but y'all are really cool people. I think what happened was in all my years of work before my brain exploded, I've come in contact with all of you somehow.
Yeah.
Even through osmosis.
Don't pull that shit on me.
6 degrees of Jiggy, baby.
Love it.
I hate this woo-woo shit.
Do you really?
No, I made a whole show for woo-woo BGs. Maggie has the Wednesday woo-woo show on my channel. So, I think a good deal of it is bullshit, but I gotta tell you, my dear friend little Maggie comes up. She's really good at what she does, but most of the stuff that's out there on the internet, man, it's just such horse crap.
It's just they take the fun away. This is the thing. When I started all this, when I was really just so optimistic that I could find some real fucking answers in this community, everything was cool. And I remember being younger, innocent Jiggy who was going to conferences and listening to these people. I'm like, okay, wow, that sounds really, really fucking cool. But the whole thing about me is the problem is because of my line of work and my ability to read people and see bullshit and hear bullshit and know it's bullshit, there's nothing worse than you throw it. And some of you may have done it. You ever been a drunk person who got kicked out of a bar or a club and you were trying to talk your way back in?
Yep.
There's no bigger bullshitter and liar than a drunk person trying to get back into a club or a bar. They're going to do anything they can to get back in there, and your job is to keep them out. So your bullshit meter is really fucking high. And so I'm going to these conferences, and the thing is, I've smoked weed with people. They've had Smoke King's Magic cookies. I've done some fucking what do you call it? Fuck. I've done shrooms with the microdosing with people. I've drank with some of these people, partied with them, and just listening to the stuff that they're saying, I just started shaking my head like, what the fuck? And then it went from ghosts to UFOs to cryptozoology, and all of a sudden, all this other shit got thrown in. It's like there's chakras and fucking crystals and all this shamans and people who are channeling all this crazy shit and everything. And then it got to the point where now there's all these conspiracies, and everything was a conspiracy. It wasn't just Roswell. It wasn't just that the government's hiding UFOs. It's like now the government and everybody else. And guess what? Now you're a part of this conspiracy because now you're Dark Alliance. And I'm like, wait, am I Dark Alliance because I'm black? Like these motherfuckers racist. And it went from Dark Alliance to Dank Alliance because we smoked weed and shit, which I'm not even a part of anymore. It started because they were talking about the people who smoke weed. I got kicked out the Dank Alliance. And here we are. It's like, and I'm going to conferences and I'm seeing people, and all of a sudden I started seeing like the Emery Smiths with the security shit, and these people with little fucking fake uniforms on, and these motherfuckers up there talking about shit, and I'm like, yo, like
The one good thing is that this pandemic has shut a lot of that shit down as far as like,
no, it hasn't. Did you not see what? I know you don't live in America, but did you not see what went on in America?
No.
Oh.
I don't.
Do you not
Why?
see
What
what
happened?
fueled that?
Oh,
In the
Hello,
election.
hello. Think of this. Just think of all of you folks right now who are in here right now have been even listening to Paranormal Hood. Not that we're the major equation in this. Just remember the stuff that we've been talking about. All you have to do is go back to October 2019 and hear when I came back from International UFO Congress and what I was talking about. And those people, and some of those people, the spearhead dude, all that type of shit and everything, were at the fucking Capitol. They were all at that conference.
Jesus.
That is
Yeah, see,
just-
I thought like that the conference
Whoa.
scene was sort of shut down because of COVID though. Like I thought that part of it has stopped that bullshit.
Well, some of it, but
they'll
they just took it online. Now they're doing online. Conscious Life
Yeah,
Expo is
okay.
online this year.
Yeah, but see, because I don't follow that shit, I'm not aware that it's even happening. So
I do, but
I
I'm
just
not.
had
I'm
to,
not
like,
paying for
take
some
myself
online
away
shit.
from it. I was just like, fuck that.
Oh, they're fun
Can't deal
though.
with it.
You have to.
Everybody's a lot of people talk about it over here, BGs.
Mm.
Yeah,
Mm,
it
Yeah.
didn't die down. It got worse. Like somehow, and the thing about it is, most of those
Well, if
folks who
you're
are into the
pissing on
conspiracy
people,
theories,
shit.
they don't care about ufology. All those people into the BooAnon and all that type of shit. Most of those people who have taken that conspiracy aspect of it and run with it couldn't tell you anything about ufology. They couldn't tell you about cryptozoology. They couldn't tell you about ghosts. They don't really care about that. They just, the conspiracy aspect of this community
Yeah.
is what they're so
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
attracted to.
Which
I
has
guess
just
they're-
muddied all the water. Hey,
They're all coat tailors and clout chasers, and
and they've got no idea. They're not educated
and
at all.
and they're
just, like,
following
twinging it.
following people who really have no clout. But then
Yeah.
everybody has a groupie.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah.
I'm
I'm my own
definitely a
groupie.
hoodie. I'm a paranormal groupie for sure.
I'm nobody's paranormal groupie. I just enjoy the circuit.
No, I'm a paranormal hood groupie.
A hood groupie. Okay, I don't. What a group? Wait, I know a group. Be careful saying that. Hold on.
She's
Be
a
careful.
fan. She's
Hold
your
on. Yeah,
fan.
but be careful. Remember what I do for a living. Remember what I've done for a living. Groupies have a whole different terminology for me because
shit,
I
nah,
know what
okay.
groupies actually are.
Yeah, no.
I know
What?
I know what
Oh,
groupies
yeah.
do.
Oh, Jiggy, I have to ask you, did you ever meet the world's most famous groupie from way back?
Who's that?
Ever? Pamela Des Barres?
I don't know what that is.
No, you're too young. Sorry, I just really dated myself. Never mind.
Well, I've
Pamela-
even done security for Ron Jeremy.
Okay, I got into a big argument with somebody one time
Uh-oh.
about Ron Jeremy, and I just made the offhand comment, Ron Jeremy used to be hot. And they said, are you fucking nuts? And I said, no, way, way, way back at the beginning, Ron Jeremy was a stud. He was this little
No,
tiny
really?
guy with this huge
Big
schlong.
dick.
They
Yeah.
called him the Hedgehog.
Yeah, and he was hot. He was this kind of, he had this glorious hair and stuff. But now look at him. Oh my God, he's turned into Gollum.
That
Or
I
mustache,
saw
though.
the mugshot, man, and it looked terrible, man.
Oh, he looks
terrible.
awful. He looks
Oh,
awful.
terrible.
But I remember way back, the first porno movie I ever saw.
Oh
was-
shit! Let's go. Let's hear this. I want to
Don't
hear
tell
this.
me it was called Golden Showers.
No, hold on. Can I be an asshole here, real quick, Robin?
Oh yeah.
All right, you're gonna have to
It's
take this
your
joke.
show.
The first porno she ever saw was in the Bible. It was when Adam and Eve were naked in the.
Okay, the one after that.
Sorry.
The one after that, I was newly married. I think I was pregnant with my first child, and my husband, I was young. And he showed me, I saw Behind the Green Door.
I don't even know what happened behind the green door.
I'm scared to ask.
You don't know Behind the Green Door. And then the next one was Angela the fireworks woman. Okay, anybody listening, look that up. You might find it on the dark web. But and then there was one that Ron Jeremy was, and I was. Sometimes I had to cover my eyes. Sometimes I had to just get up and go. You know, and he says, "No, look, because I married an older man, so he showed me this. But yeah, Ron, I'm so sorry to be telling this sordid
No, it's not
story.
you,
but
Robert.
Woohoo! This is the place for
Dan
it,
in the
baby.
chat just made it funny.
Oh, wait, what?
This
What?
is disclosure.
It really is, you guys. But okay, getting back to the original thing about Ron Jeremy, he used to
bang.
be.
I'm just reading the chat. I'm so sorry.
Skeet, 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 skeet.
Okay, I just can't. I'm dying. No.
What
Oh,
I have bought together, let no man tear asunder.
Oh my
Oh
god, it's
my-
8 a.m. I'm probably gonna have to hop off because I should not like kill myself.
Yeah, don't kill yourself, please. That won't be beneficial.
I mean, I don't mean literally. I just mean in terms of not sleeping.
okay.
Haven't
Well,
you slept, Spooky?
Oh, I fell asleep earlier, like I don't know, like 2, and then I woke up at about 4:30 and was like, "Why the hell am I awake?" So I streamed some Soul Calibur, and then I stopped that, and then now I'm here.
Oh. Can I ask
So-
you a question before you go?
Sure,
How old are you?
I'm almost 28.
he's little. He's
Wow,
just little.
you're the
She's just
baby.
little.
I am the baby,
Aw.
You are.
but I have done quite a lot of
Baby.
stuff.
You have, yeah.
I've been around the world and seen things. Now I'm
And
back.
you know Graham Hancock, which is pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. I know his wife more than him. He's quite a kind of quiet guy, but
Yep.
Santa is like one of my favorite
Yeah.
people in the whole world.
Yeah, she's awesome. Yeah.
She is really awesome.
I'm rolling my last blunt over here, folks.
How lovely.
You
Oh,
are
does-
fake news.
How many last blunts were there last night? It's all your fault. You guys are gonna stop buying my weed. Fuck this.
Well, what time is it over there, Jig? It'd have to be like, what, 3:30?
Yeah, it's 3 a.m.
3.
It's okay. Once you get enough subs, you can get super chats,
Yeah, I guess.
and then
No-
people
no
can
one
just
wants
be
to
like,
sub.
"Hey,
No one wants to
Right.
sit here.
Oh, well, so we can billboard you, Jiggy, right? We can tweet you out. You can announce things, and we can network for you.
Nope.
What?
Nope. No.
You don't want to get some shekels out of this?
No. Listen. Whatever happens, let the channel just grow. Let it grow naturally. If it grows, it grows.
How
If it
many
doesn't, it
subs
doesn't.
have you
Hey,
got? You got
it-
like 200 or something, I saw.
Wait,
I got
wait. You know what?
293, I think.
Jiggy,
You got 3
if-
times as many as me."
and if your friends decide on their own to perhaps tell their friends,
And they told two
That's-
friends, and so on and so on. Isn't that a commercial? What was that? Head and Shoulders.
you're kind of a smart aleck, Jiggy.
Duh. Where have you been? I
Well,
wear it
just-
on my sleeve.
Well, it was my PSA for you, dear. But yeah, so that's organic, So you know what? I got to tell you, I'm having the best time here with you, Jiggy, and all you guys. Why not tell my friends that, what a cool place to come and listen to like real people and hear about real stories.
But you guys aren't even real. You're figments of my imagination. So that doesn't even make sense.
Oh, God, you made me tired.
I mean,
Is it working? This is the 51st attempt to make contact. Wake
still not
up,
working.
Jiggy.
Nope, you guys aren't doing
uh,
it right. I told you how you have to do it. You don't want to listen. You have to
Keep
have a
trying.
conference. I'm gonna be on stage. I'm gonna release my magic pee everywhere and everybody, and then everyone
Magic
will
pee.
same time. I'll wake up and everyone will ascend. I have magic.
This
I
is
have the magic
disclosure.
kiss. Apparently, I have magic urine. I'm just saying. I didn't say. We found out recently that my urine is magic. Do you believe in magic?
And on that bombshell, I'm gonna hop out and go to sleep.
Well, good morning
But-
to you.
Yeah.
Good morning to you
night.
all.
Well, have a
Thank
good
you for
sleep at
having me.
least.
Thank you for the lovely, stimulating conversation. I love you all.
I haven't even eaten my dinner yet. Okay, you talk about a fucking weirdo.
Hey, go eat your dinner, man.
I
Don't
will.
waste away on us.
It'll be my
It's
breakfast.
3:00 in the morning.
It'll be my dinner, my breakfast dinner.
Brenner, yeah.
Brenner.
Oh, Spooky Dookie, sweetheart, good to see you.
Good to see you too,
Take
Robert.
care, Spooky.
Spooky,
You
I'm
too.
not, I'm not all sentimental and shit, but thank you for joining us and fuck you. You know what I mean? Because they're all like, "Oh, Spooky, we love you. Like, don't leave."
That's
But-
okay, Jiggy.
Well,
Fuck you.
well,
See, exactly.
Okay,
That's all good.
take two fuck yous with you. Fuck you, Spooky.
See, come on, doesn't that feel better than Spooky can say "fuck you" too? And even though it doesn't really mean, no one means "fuck you." It just is being said. See, it's organic.
It's
See,
okay.
there you
The
go.
fuck are you, a dolphin?
Exactly.
The fuck are you a whale?
I'm a dolphin. See,
If you are
Oh
caught,
my
make
God.
the sound of a dying giraffe.
we watch too many movies. All of us. I could live quoting movies all day, every day. It'd be easy to do.
Yeah, Keats in the chat said that he got to share an internet doob with Jiggy last night. Well, we're doing it tonight, Preg. Well, come on now.
Yeah, I wish it was only one dude, wasn't it? Like, how many fucking.
Yeah, you only
Seven.
have one left.
Yeah,
That means
big
this
love, everyone.
this live is finite because Jiggy's on his last doob.
Maybe I should be, but yeah. See, like, that's ended up. How many hours is it now?
Later,
It's almost 3
Spooky.
hours. Yeah, we're not doing 6 hours. Fuck y'all. That ain't gonna happen. Y'all
So,
think I'm doing 6 hours again? Be crazy.
Lady
So-
Keats.
So
Sleep
you'll
well.
okay, night Keats. Good to see you here, sweetheart.
I want to know who the other people in the chat are. Is it like some random people just laying in the back taking notes and shit?
Yeah, the context too.
Well, you know who that is. That's Corey and
All of
David.
a sudden, Corey Good or Dave, well, David Wilcox tried to relate to black people, but all of a sudden, Corey Good's going to try to relate to black people. He'd be like, "Yeah, you know, so when I was in the 20 and back, one of the times I spent, I was a black bouncer on this planet on the outer rim." You know
I
what I'm
was
saying?
in this planet called Paranormal.
Yeah, that's what it was. Paranoid.
Could you imagine? Oh, that would be hilarious.
You never know with these motherfuckers. David
Oh.
Wilcox Lilly was talking about smoking weed with blunts. He specifically had to say
He
blunts.
just,
Smoking blunts
he
with his
just
black
looks
friend.
uncomfortable when he even says the word. Like he has no idea what it's about. Do you
Right,
know what I mean?
exactly.
Like,
He's just trying to relate for some reason. I don't know if he's trying
He
to.
just can't. He just cannot.
But see, honestly, I almost feel like subconsciously that's like maybe, and I know I shouldn't take it like personal, which I don't, but it's almost like, is that a shot at us in a sense? Because who else do you know who's in this field who talks about him and he knows we're on his radar and smokes blunts and talks about smoking blunts every fucking week and has for fucking going on 8 years? Us. So all of
Yeah.
a sudden, are you trying to make yourself more relatable to people like to us or to somebody else like us? Would you think maybe you start talking about blunts, like some black dudes are gonna
No.
go, "Oh, yo, he smokes blunt. He's
Can't.
mad cool."
He'll never be cool, unfortunately. All I think about when I see him is teeth. That's all I think about. And it's just
Teeth?
and a forehead, but like that's it.
Teeth and a forehead. Okay, now I
Teeth and
know
a
who you're
forehead.
talking about. Okay, so when people mention teeth, I think about Gary Busey. Do you know who
Oh
he
yeah,
is?
Oh,
he's
yeah,
got a
hell
big
yeah.
set of chompers.
His son too,
Oh.
Jake. Have you seen his son, Jake? He's an actor.
Oh no.
A family of scary teeth. Is that what it is?
Basically, yeah. You've seen? If you ever see the movie Contact?
With
With,
Jodie
um,
Foster.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
the preacher guy that blows up the
That's-
thing.
That's right. You know what? My daughter and my son-in-law were extras on that movie, and they were all excited, but their part was cut out, so you only see the side of their faces in that movie.
Hey, the side's better than nothing.
That's it.
Yeah, and you know what? During that movie, they were instructed to not make eye contact with Jodie Foster.
Well,
Otherwise-
people think they're doing that to be assholes. It's not that. It's because it takes them off. Like it's distracting. You know,
It really is, but I found that fascinating. And my daughter and son-in-law, of course, they obeyed the rules. But yeah, so we're all 1 degree of separation from fame, you guys.
Nope, you guys are all. It's because of me. I told you it's 6 degrees of Jiggy. Even Kevin Bacon is 6 degrees away from me. See,
Okay, 6 degrees. Do you have a T-shirt? Do you have do you have a Teespring?
I
Yeah,
know
yeah,
I
there you
have
go. 6
somebody who
degrees
makes
of
the shirt.
Jiggy could sell.
I would buy that T-shirt, Jiggy.
So would I.
That
I
shirt
am
would sell
serious.
5 shirts. Okay, that's about how many
Oh
shirts
well,
we
I'd be
probably
one
sell.
of them. I'd be one of them. BGs.
Yeah,
I'm
I'd buy
sure
one.
if they ship to the UK. Okay, so then you only have to market 3 to break even.
Good.
So I would do that. I am really serious. Jiggy, would you ever consider coming on the Granny Show with
I'll
us?
come on the Granny Show. Absolutely.
How about Sunday?
No. Do you know what Sunday is? Ugh, blasphemy. Do you not know what February 7th is? Sunday, February 7th?
Yeah, I know. Super Bowl.
Super Bowl.
Are you shitting me? Oh my. Okay, so how about the next one after that? Because
If I'm alive and breathing, yeah.
okay, so that means Maggie and I can do a tailgate party.
There you go. Get you some wangs and things. Get you a scripper.
Oh my God!
Get you a scripper to like drop it while it's hot in the background.
You just gave me the title for my next Granny Show. Thank you, Jiggy. I
No
didn't
problem.
realize that. Okay, so we're having a tailgate party with the Granny Show. Okay, so you guys go off and play, and then Jiggy, can we do the Sunday after that? What?
Yep, just remind me.
Wait, maybe not.
Okay, yeah.
That's Valentine's Day. Do you want to come on for Valentine's Day?
Oh, you want me to be your Valentine?
Would you be our Valentine?
Wait, Valentine's Day is a Sunday?
Yeah.
It depends.
It would be noon your time.
It depends because I may spend it with my grandbaby. So I don't know if she wants.
Of course, that's family.
That's my Valentine. So yeah, just let me see what I don't know what my plans will be.
Okay. Okay, or even after that,
I want to come on. We'll figure it out. We'll work it out.
Oh, that would be so. You are so cool. That would be so cool. Maggie would pee her pants.
Really? Jiggy could do that for her.
I resisted most interviews for the longest time too.
Why?
I really because so one of the very first big interviews I ever did here was for a magazine used to be here called the Phoenix Magazine, and they literally put us on the cover of the magazine, and the article is me, and I pretty much call out what's his name, Zach Bagans and shit.
Yeah.
Because and just I don't remember. I want to quote myself, but I don't have the article in front of me. But it's pretty much fuck Zach Bagans in the article. So it's like when I would do interviews, people really would want to talk the same old shit, and they would just not. They didn't want to let me smoke weed. They didn't want to let me be myself and stuff. And I'm just I'm good. I don't want to do interviews like that. You listen to most interviews that people do, especially when it comes to the paranormal. Most people who want to interview me would talk about, okay, so what was your favorite investigation? What's your favorite EVP? What's the place that scares you? Does anything scare you? Do you know any demons? And this just all be the same shit over and over again.
And journalism is dead. Do not. Don't these people know who they're talking to?
No, they don't. They clearly look Ari Stone, Jay Widener. A lot of them they clearly don't. That's the problem. There's 7 years of archive shows of us doing this stuff and talking and how we talk, how we present ourselves. It's never been any different. So when these people act like they don't know who I am or who Paranormal Hood is, and then they try to talk shit to me, and I'm like, you clearly don't realize what you stepped into. I have a platform just like you. I'm going to use my platform. I have my tongue is a killer. My tongue is an MC in itself. It's a killer. I say shit
beware the tongue.
The shit that comes out my mouth, I don't care. Why do I? Here's the thing in all this. I'm an adult. They're adults and stuff like that. Why do I have to have a filter? Why is it that when I go to conferences, people say shit to me oh, you're so well spoken, you speak so well? It's yeah, okay, I speak well here because I'm not going to be in here cussing and smoking a blunt and right up in the middle of the conference and be myself because I can't be. But if you allowed me to get on stage and be jiggy and fuck, which I have at Conscious Life Expo, I spoke. I wasn't smoking on stage, but if you allowed me to smoke on stage, it'd be like listening to Bill Hicks or some shit just doing with paranormal. Because I would just be myself, but they don't want that. So I'm cool with that. But at the same time, they know who I am. They know how I speak. And then you get people like when Leidner and fucking what's her name, Groovy fucking Bean walking around videotaping me and taking pictures and going behind my back doing snake shit. And Robin, that's the
Yeah,
thing.
that
Like,
was weird, wasn't it?
but you know what's crazy about it? There are so many people who don't listen to Paranormal Hood or friends listen to Paranormal who won't be my friend on Twitter or just admit that they were fucking wrong because of their stupid fucking pride. Because they rather have believed that I was the big aggressive fucking ape, the King Kong motherfucker chasing the white woman up the building and shit, that I was the one doing this shit to her. And rather
that
than
was the
believe
other way
the fact that it
around,
was the
right?
other way around, that these fucking
Exactly.
people, Jay Biden, are all of my assholes. He comes to me at a fucking conference. He tries to get a rise out of me. He did not accomplish anything that he wanted to accomplish. I was not the aggressor again, but no, it's easier to believe that Jiggy's just this big fucking angry black man. And it's just not the case. Anybody.
Just lucky Natasha was there as well.
Exactly, Natasha, all the other people who don't even know me, who were in booths around us, who walked up to me to apologize, like, "Oh my God, I can't believe this dude said the stuff that he was saying." Like other people who didn't know us or the situation were appalled. It's like but the people who weren't there rather believe that it was me, that because I'm not these people and I don't misrepresent myself like they do, that no, I'm the fucking bad guy. Good luck with that. Anybody who knows me, ask Kelly Farmer, who's hung out with me and stuff like that. Ask anybody, Lee Veltman, Natasha. I can name countless people. If you would have asked Jordan Sather before Smoke King called him out, which was funny, it wasn't even I who called him out. If you notice a lot of the cases of these aggressive people, it's not even me who they normally go after. They go at Smoke King and then they try to drive a wedge like, oh, well, he's this and that. And I'm like, no, that's not going to work. I know what goes on. But it's like I'm not an aggressive person. And they all loved me until I just started asking questions. They didn't want questions. Ask any of them. Like I said, Corey Good, his wife, all these people's wives. Ask fucking Jason Quitt, who knows me. Ask his wife. I'm not an asshole. I'm just not. I wouldn't have been able to maneuver all these years
What
for
did
all
who
these
say?
people.
Daniel, what are you asking? What did who say?
Who was that?
Daniel.
What did who actually say? Are you talking about Jay Leidner? Because the whole conversation with him was, I'm going to have to paraphrase here because I'd have to sit here and remember the whole conversation. He was recording this, first of all. So that's how you knew that he was coming there to try to get some shit that he could try to use later, because he's recording the conversation, which I didn't even notice because I'm not an asshole like that. Natasha noticed it. But he was coming over and he was asking me about, the stuff that I was saying about him online. And I told him I stand by everything I say, that one, I think he's racist. I think the stuff that he says is racist. He's been quoted on a show with a racist. And he was trying to explain to me that he was sick and all this type of stuff. And again, as I've sat here and told you all the shit that I went through, let me tell you something. All the stuff that you know about that I tell you that I've been through isn't even the stuff that you don't know about. But at no point has anything ever happened to me when I've been on death's doorstep and died or anything that made me racist. Nothing about it. It doesn't make you racist. You don't all of a sudden become racist because you're dying or some shit. It doesn't make sense. And this was what he was talking about. He was trying to justify this shit to my face. And then he's telling me that, what was he saying? That he's an alchemist, that he's not about love and light, that he's an alchemist. This is literally, this is his words verbatim. That he is an alchemist, that he is not about love and light. He's not about any of that. He's telling exactly who he is.
He's about money. That's it.
And what a delusional fuck.
He's not delusional. He knows that. Let me tell you something. Out of all these people, people can talk. Hold on a second, Robin. Let me just say this real quick. Out of all these people, you look at David Wilcox, you look at all these folks who went through Gaia, is where they became popular and they learned most of their television and video tricks. They learned it from Jay Wider. He was a dude who worked in Hollywood first, who brought that Hollywood stuff to Gaia, and he was he's the master manipulator behind all these people. He taught them the best way to grift, how to appear on camera, how to talk on camera, how to edit stuff, how to do all the shit that they are pretty much doing now. He taught them. He is the blueprint of that shit.
Yeah, a major grift. You nailed it. It's a major grift. And, it's the followers that are whacked out. These guys are running a very calculated grift. And look at the followers. Haven't they all made a lot of money?
Yes, and they
But
continue to still do so.
Didn't he fuck Yvonne over as well?
Yes. Apparently, or she just stepped back because once I started calling him out, and then people started to take a real look at the situation and then call Yvonne out for lying about the shit that she was saying I was doing when she was the one stalking me. It kind of blew up in her face because see, the whole thing with her was the TMI that she has traumatic brain injury as well. And I said to her, and I reached out to her in private. I reached out to her in DM and stuff like that. Like, listen, I understand what you've been through because I've had traumatic brain injury. I've been through that stuff. So I'm trying to be sensitive here. But I'm telling you, one, that people are saying you're a victim. If you're a victim, you need to at least look at this dude for what he is, and that you're not benefiting from someone who's saying the opposite to linking up and doing business with this guy. Like it doesn't bode well for you. It doesn't look good for you. So at some point, I'm going to call you out the same as I'm calling him out. So just be prepared. Unless in this private DM, you can communicate to me and convince me otherwise that I'm wrong. And she couldn't. And she didn't. She didn't take the opportunity to do that.
Yeah, and it all boils down to that people perhaps made bad choices. You know, we all have the power of choice.
Exactly.
And so bad choices were made. And then, you know, once you make a bad choice, boy, your default shouldn't be that of being a victim.
Exactly.
But shit sticks as well. Like, you know, once that label's been had, it's really hard to let go of it, isn't it? Like
sometimes you make your own labels, you know. So, I don't know.
Whatever. I just
Well,
know
being all
that
cranky.
these motherfuckers, they can talk whatever they want. They can say whatever they want. I know who I am. I know how I am. And people who spend time with me and chill with me know that I'm none of that shit that they try to portray me to be at all. I'm just not. I don't have time for it. It's not even it's not even something I would waste my time doing, worrying about all that type of shit, following people around, taking pictures and stalking them and shit like that, and caring that much about them. Like, get the fuck out of here. I didn't travel across the country to worry about you fucking people. Like, grow up.
Yeah, well, yeah, especially right here on YouTube. You know, YouTube, please.
I'm not intimidated. The problem with them too is that I'm not intimidated by any of these people or any of this bullshit. It does not intimidate me that they talk about all this type of stuff, because if they had any of these clearances and had all these real people backing them and getting insider information from all these high-priced people, someone would have paid me a visit. I have plenty of friends in law enforcement and all kinds of shit, people who work for me who are in law enforcement. One of them would have come to me at some point and be like, listen, someone contacted me to tell you to shut the fuck up. So shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
And then Dickie would have shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
It ain't happened.
Real. Yeah.
It ain't happened.
Yeah.
And Spooky was in on all that as well. I'm just reading the chat.
Oh yeah, Spooky knows well because she was sending her pictures and stuff of me, sending people video and pictures. Meanwhile, and I knew this was going on. If you go back, I believe I either talked about it on the show when I came back, or I may even put it on Twitter, whatever. That like this woman, I can tell what she's doing. I have nothing in my hand. Her booth was right next to Ben Hansen's. If you go and look in the archive of Paranormal, he's been on this show at least 2 times, maybe 3 times. I've talked to him whenever I see him at conferences and stuff. I know his wife. I know that the baby and stuff like that. Like, he's a really cool person. His booth happened to be right next to her. So I would go to talk to him. I wasn't paying her no attention. And she's just walking around with her little entourage, and they're all fucking mean mugging me and shit. Like I'm the fucking devil or some shit. And she's got a camera in front of her. And I'm like, she's taking pictures and video of me. I know what she's doing. And then she's secretly sending it to people like, oh, like I'm following her. I'm being aggressive. Get the fuck out of here.
it seemed to be, yeah, that was crazy that time, wasn't it?
Well, man, yeah, looking back on it, what craziness, huh, Jiggy?
Could you imagine, though? So in hindsight, let's look back and let's imagine that when Jay Widener came over and was recording me, I would have been an asshole and had an aggressive conversation. Do you understand? All that shit would have been made on some fucking YouTube video, and all that shit would have been used against me to try to create some scenario that I'm this big, angry fucking asshole. And they couldn't do it. He couldn't pull it off. Even with the stuff that he did record, it clearly in the recording shows who the asshole is. It wasn't Jiggy.
No, well, that's not you, is it?
Nope. But I'll tell you this much. When that motherfucker got loud and I stood up, he started shaking like a stripper.
Good.
And I'm gonna tell you, this is the craziest thing too. What do you say? I'm 6'4".
How tall are you?
I'm 6'4", and I was probably at the time about 275.
Yeah, Jiggy's like this oak tree that that towers over everybody.
But Robin, here's the thing too. Like when these people claim that people are after them or would silence them, right? So one night when we're at the hotel, It's late at night. Everybody's been hanging out. I go to the bathroom. As I'm coming back from the bathroom, I look to my left, and Jay doesn't even realize he has his back to me, and he's waiting for the elevator. And this motherfucker's shaking again like a strip, and he's talking to himself. He doesn't even realize that I just walk right by and keep going back to the group of people I was with. Like, if I'm such an aggressive or crazy person, right there, I got him dead to rights.
Yeah.
Like, your back is to me. Like, I could walk up.
Wow.
He doesn't get that. These people don't understand that type of stuff because they're LARPing. They're playing at something, and they're playing a deadly game.
And they're all in their own little mindset, their own little worlds, doing their own shtick, and they're not noticing things.
They don't pay attention. They have no fucking. They don't keep their head on a swivel. They're not, because they know there's no real threat. There's nothing for them to really be scared of.
So they don't pay attention.
They
Boy.
don't care to. Why would they? The
Yeah.
average
It's all about
citizen
them, that's the thing.
on a day-to-day basis, even when you two are out, I guarantee, not being an asshole, that you two don't see the world the way I see the world on a day-to-day basis. You're not going to pay attention to the things that I pay attention to. It's just the way it is. So I would think that these people would have a mindset more like mine, where they don't. They don't at all. They're very comfortable in their lifestyle because they know it is fake. They're comfortable in their grift. They're comfortable in their LARP. It's just a play to them. They think that they're William Shatner again at conventions and stuff, that everything is cool.
Yeah. And everybody else is just, they're all cardboard cutouts in their stage play.
They just no. They just see every person as a dollar bill. Everybody has a dollar bill assigned to them.
Exactly. Yeah, it's all money.
That's all it is.
It's quite sad.
It's
really.
P.T. Barnum at
Right.
its best.
Mm.
Oh,
It's the
yeah.
circus.
Yeah, and with
I
all the
literally saw a book about
Bicycle.
P.T. Barnum today. That's hilarious.
Well,
you what? Bee Gees? What?
I was like shelving some books, and P.T. Barnum biography about P.T. Barnum was there, and I was like, that was just rando that I looked at it.
Yeah, that's like a schematic for how you do it today.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
all right.
you
The
just
circus.
follow that blueprint, and yeah, it works. Damn, doesn't it work?
because
That's the
human beings
tragedy.
want to be entertained. We love to be. We want to be entertained.
Boy, and this is at one of the lowest levels of
Mm.
entertainment. You know,
Well, it's the biggest. It's the arena. It's the ultimate arena. This is the ultimate arena. Is the internet. Everything
Yeah.
is here. Anything that you want is here. Whatever you want to find, you can find it here.
oh, geez, one night in Thailand, you know, yeah, all
That's actually One Night in Bangkok is the song.
oh, you're right. I stand corrected. Well,
Robin, you have to remember something, and they've
Jiggy,
all come to
Jiggy.
realize this: that Jiggy's always right.
Hashtag.
I'm never wrong. Even when I'm wrong, I'm right.
There's the hashtag for the show, Robin. Jiggy's always right.
another T-shirt.
It's
It's
hard.
really good.
It's hard
Yeah,
to be
that's the
Negro.
hashtag
It's hard to be
t-shirt.
Negrodamus. It's hard to know the future and figure all this shit out. You know, it's funny because the thing is, like, you hear David go back. He's like, I'm going to go back to the stream. And in the stream, there was a midget. There was some water wings. There was some baby oil, some hot chicken wings, some hot sauce, and Hillary Clinton. And he has these elaborate dreams, right? That are supposed to
Fuck,
be
you sound
prophetic.
like him so much.
But if you go back and listen to some shows from a couple of years ago and different things, and especially coming back from the events, if there's nothing more prophetic than some of the shit that I was saying, and not being an asshole, just because I watched this shit firsthand. There's nothing like going to the circus and being there front row. See, like, it's like you watch a news report and somebody says to you, okay, today at the circus, Tiger mauls somebody. No. What about that friend who was there? It's like, yo, motherfucker, listen, I was in the motherfucking front row at the motherfucking circus, right? And all of a sudden, this motherfucking lion goes motherfucking crazy. And it grabs this motherfucker's arm and it starts ripping this motherfucker's arm. And yo, there's blood everywhere and shit, man. And this motherfucker screaming and shit. And then they come and they tame the lion and shit. Like, that's firsthand shit. Like, you're firsthand at the circus watching it unfold. And I come back and I talk about this shit, and then everybody's like, yo, he's just so angry. And I'm not angry because I always say, watch what's going to happen.
You're only passionate, and
passionate.
you use your words, and that's how they come out. Sort of like a machine gun.
But I've paid my money.
I love it. And
I've
you're
paid my
articulate.
money to go to the circus. So it's just like if no one ever got mad at Siskel and Ebert, whatever his name was, for critiquing movies,
Yeah,
whether they
those
were mad
guys.
about it, whether they were happy about it, whatever, they would shit on movies, right? Nobody gets mad about that, but they paid their money to see them. Well, they didn't, but most people pay their money to see a movie. That's why reviews are great nowadays. They can work in your favor. Sometimes they work against you because it depends on who the fuck the reviewer is. But you get to review something. I paid my money to go to this fucking circus. Why can't I come back and talk about it? I'm absolutely supposed to talk about it. My experience, what happens there. But 9 times out of 10, it's not that it's a bad experience. It's the shit that goes on that's happening with some of these people that is bad, that make it a bad experience for everybody, because they should not be pushing all this craziness for no fucking reason, with no end game and with no not being held responsible and accountable for the shit they're
I
doing.
just honestly can't believe there's that many thousands of stupid people out there following these like Will Pump
Well,
and that. Like,
you know what? The
I just
world
can't
is
believe it.
the world is a big place. There are a lot of people, but you know what? It's like an old advice somebody gave me was, be careful how you pick your friends. And that goes for groups. Just be careful how you
But they're
pick
not
your
all stupid people. That's the problem. People like to label them as stupid people. They're not all stupid people. That's like saying that everybody, that your family members who are religious are stupid people. It's not that they're stupid people.
Oh,
Human
they're
beings want
not.
something to believe in. The problem is
Oh, no
they're just
kidding.
following the wrong shit. It doesn't make them
Yeah.
stupid. They're just not capable of doing a whole lot of research necessarily, or don't know. When you talk about, not trying to be funny, Robin, but there's a demographic of my mother who's in her 70s now, who knows computers to an extent and stuff like that. But there's a big gap in that age of people who can't use computers. One of the things that's going on here with COVID is people of a certain age bracket, they're telling these people to go online to make your appointment to get your COVID. These people are like, what? Why can't I just call on a telephone to make my appointment? I don't know how to work a fucking computer. So there's a big demographic for the people who are, say, like a contact in the desert, who aren't people who are going to get on a computer and be able to do research to realize that what these people are saying is bullshit.
That's
Now,
so true.
and they're also set in their ways. So when their younger son or their grandkid comes and tell them, like, dad or grandma, like, you're bugging, like, this shit is fake, and let me show you how it's fake, they're not going to believe that necessarily. So it doesn't make them stupid. It just means that they're not necessarily getting all the proper information where they should.
They're merely uninformed, and I help people who are my age who just, they're baffled by it, and so it's been part of my job.
It just can't. It just doesn't sound true though. Like the shit that he spits is.
But why
just
doesn't it? Well,
farcical.
when he's telling you he's a scientist, but you're not going to look up the fact that he's not a scientist. When he's telling you he has 180 IQ, but you're not going to look up the fact that he doesn't have 180 IQ.
He's got 180 IQ.
Of course he doesn't. But a layman who doesn't know all the terminology and the word salad he uses, they're not going to know that he's not. They're not going to think that he's not. He sounds intelligent to someone who doesn't know that he's not. When he talks about the law of one and Ra, and then he uses mathematical equations and science mixed in with a bunch of woo and stuff like that, people aren't listening necessarily to just the science part, but they're listening to the woo because they've heard everything else, which makes it sound credible to them.
Yes, and it all boils down to the fact that the vulnerable are being taken advantage of. It's all of the vulnerable.
Yeah,
Look at
and
the
that's the
stats.
sad
Look
part
at the
for me.
look at the age group. Look at the level. What?
Throughout history, there's two things that people really have not taken care of the way they should have. They used to, in some cultures, revere the elderly, but they stopped taking care of the elderly the way they should have, and they've never, ever taken care and looked out for children the way they should.
Yeah,
that's a fact. And that's the problem, that they know that they're vulnerable in the sense that they just don't have the proper information. So there's no one there who's supposed to help them because there's not a whole lot of tolerant people.
Well,
People become intolerant.
There isn't a designated category of helping the aging population. Years ago, I knew I was a baby boomer early on. And I was talking with a colleague one time, and I said, man, we are the most enormous population of elderly ever to hit the world when we get older. And I worked in an industry where we tried to put things in place to, for aid, for support, for education, for all of it, caregiver support, all that stuff, because we knew a long time ago, but we've let down in a whole lot of places. Jiggy, you said it too. There's a lovely resource in the history of old people, what they have to say, because all of that shit is being erased. And
Yes, it
so,
is.
but, there's been a failure here recently. I know a lot of older people who are facing those struggles.
I see it in my work every day. We have a lot of people that are, I would say maybe 65 plus that are being pushed to create an email because they need an email to do this online or join this app, blah, blah, blah. These guys don't know how to, they try to use it, but they just don't know how to. And then on the other end, I've got kids that are running riot because their parents are like, Jen, I don't even know what they are now. And they just don't teach their kids any respect, morals, ethics, nothing. It's just
It's a
crazy.
different day and age. It's just a different world.
Totally.
Some kids would say they used to be raised by TV. Well, now kids are raised by cell phones. They're raised by
Yeah.
tablets. They're raised by
But
their
their
attention span is short.
They can't do anything wrong. And if we touch them, we're doing you can't control them. You can't tell them what to do. They just stick it back in your face. Like, it's really crazy.
Oh my
Like,
God, guys, it's 333. Oh my God, again. It's 333. We did it
I
again.
know.
We
It's
did it again.
7:09 here.
Oh,
it's
it's 333 here.
12:33 here.
It's 333
so
here.
you know what? I'm ready to say goodnight.
Yeah, I need to go eat my
Yeah,
dinner.
I'm good. Yep.
Yeah, boy, I gotta say, are we doing final thoughts? If we are, can I be first?
Can we call it? Doesn't somebody else do final thoughts? Shouldn't we call it something else?
Oh, what do you want to call it?
I don't know. We'll think about it. It's a work in progress.
You can name it afterward. Okay,
Yeah.
so this has been absolutely a delight. Jiggy, I never knew any of this stuff about you. When I discovered you, you were a part of two guys sitting on a sofa, being so cool and so brilliant. And just, I felt so comfortable coming on there in your chat with you, just watching you guys. And we interacted a little bit. Maybe this was last year before, I can't remember, but I never knew who you were as part of that duo. This has been just such a pleasure to get to know. I can hardly wait to have you on the Granny Show, because dang, good to know you, my dear man.
We'll have some fun. I appreciate it. That's what I wanted to do. I think that people, I spent years talking about it, but most people aren't going to go back to listen to old shows. But it's kind of like to understand where I am, and it's not just me, some skeptic dude who's just an asshole who hasn't really put in any work in it. So I've put in some serious fucking work over the years. to get where I
My
am.
God, your life, and I do hope you just continue on telling your stories, because it's like what a precious archive you would be leaving, as you go on through your life. Oh, dear man.
One day I'll talk about the almost fight with Old Dirty Bastard. You'll enjoy that story, PGs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you'll enjoy that story.
Ooh.
Okay.
That's spicy.
Yeah, it's hilarious. It's
Doesn't
good
involve
stories.
any pissing though, does it?
No, never pissing. No,
Awesome.
no.
That's all right then.
Apparently, I only piss in
This is
backpacks and
great.
dreams. So,
All
guys,
right, guys. Well,
if you're up,
I-
tune in tomorrow night. We'll be
time.
Paranormal Hood will be the two of them. I don't know when I'll do this again, but we'll be
I'm
doing this
feeling
again.
that
so.
I miss all the live shows, so I really I'm glad that I've picked this one and hit it well. So
Yeah, we'll do it again
Um,
sometime. You never know when I just will pop on now.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know-
which is
you
good.
never know. I'm
Yeah.
going to keep up with you. And BG's dear heart, good to
Love
good
you,
to be
Robin.
here
You're
with you.
gorgeous.
Oh, sweetheart, you have my heart. Okay, boy, what a love fest. Jeez, I feel like an old hippie
We love
now.
you, Jiggy.
No, you don't.
Bye
No, I'll say that.
now.
You don't really love me. That's just what they say.
Okay, we all have to room together next semester.
Okay.
Done.
or-
Wait, the three of us. Here we are on this entanglement again. See, you started. You wanted entanglement. Now you got it.
I didn't
Wait,
ask
hold
for
on.
it.
Bee Gees, how old are you?
43.
All right, so you're younger and she's older. That works for me. I like that. That works.
Oh, go on.
I can be in this entanglement. That works for me. I
Okay,
can dig it.
so this is like a generation sandwich.
Yeah, exactly. I can dig it. I like that. Yeah, works for me.
Jesus.
Works for me. It's late at night.
Mhm.
I've had a couple of glasses of wine and perhaps
Woohoo.
other things. So, boy,
Okay.
thank you.
Jesus.
This has been absolutely freaking
Yeah,
delightful.
no, it's been good. Had
It was
fun.
fun. I don't know how to end it. I hate all that. Oh, goodbye stuff. So he was like,
I know
Alright,
this is hard
well,
to do. I'll bet
I'm
you
just
walk
gonna-
people
I'm
out
just
to the
gonna
car
disappear.
forever.
So you guys have a good night, get some sleep, and
You mean good
see you
morning?
next time.
It's morning now. So good morning.
Oh, good morning then.
Okay, poof.
Later.
All right. Cheers. It's over.
Later, Gator. Okay, so I'm making my exit too. Jiggy, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for being here with me. We'll do it again.
Oh, I hope so. I dearly hope so. Okay, we'll talk about the future of you being
Yes.
on the
We'll definitely
ground.
do it. Absolutely. Thank you.
Okay,
All
thanks again. I don't know how to make a graceful exit. So, okay, bye.
right. Goodbye. And I'm leaving too. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. Whoever watches these long ass streams. I don't know how it ended up being as long as they are, but at least we didn't do almost 6 hours. But I'm going to go eat dinner. Talk to you again. Tune in tomorrow night. Paranormal Hood on Paranormal Hood Live. On that, yes, Paranormal Live, the other channel. That's where we'll do the live show. So, till then, bye. Goodbye. I said goodbye.